live. We're live. Hold on, we're calibrating. We're not calibrating. Ew, we're live. We're live. Welcome to the second episode of Gundam Gunpla and Grunts. I'm very excited to have a new cast with me today. We have Fazulous. Say hello, Fazulous.
Hello, pilots and crew.
We got Kai.
What was my greeting? I blanked. Jesus, I blanked so hard.
Damn it, dude.
Already scuffed. Let's go. Let's go.
This is a very professional podcast. Don't worry. We got Mecha Wolf Unit.
Yo koso.
And we have Moku Mecha Pilot.
Hello, I'm here.
He's here. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Gasket, but he is unfortunately not feeling well. But that's okay. That's okay. So we're gonna start off the way we did last time. We're gonna start off with the Gunpla, and the Gundam. You know what I mean? Fazzy boy, tell us, tell the world, what your first Gundam series was and how you got into your first Gunpla. What's the story?
So my first Gundam series has probably got to be back when Seed was on Toonami.
What, 40 years ago? 30 years ago?
But probably like a good...
Oh, I'm gonna be the
back when Toonami was a thing back on, Cartoon Network. Like the late night anime that they had. So they had Gundam Seed on there, and I caught it. I was like, this is pretty cool.
So Gundam Seed was your first?
It was my first, and albeit the rest was debatable for how good it was, but it's still awesome.
Seed, I needed Destiny.
Then I got back into it years later. I was like, you know what? Let's get some Gunpla. I never built a model kit, so I got the Full Armor 7th Gundam because that was like one of the suits I made in GBO2.
Okay, so that was your first Gunpla?
Yep, first Gunpla.
Damn. It's a big boy too, eh?
It was the high grade, so it's a bit bulkier than the RX-78. So
it's a pretty bulky one. I have it. I still have it. It's one of my favorites.
Well, thanks for sharing, Faz. Let's go with the Moku Mecha Pilot. Tell us your how you got into Gundam and your first Gunpla kit.
So probably my first exposure to Gundam, probably like most people here in the US that are my age, was the exposure to Gundam Wing on Toonami for the very first time.
Hell yeah.
98, 99, I think that was.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
And then my first Gunpla came very shortly after that, was when I went to an anime con for the first time. I think it was Otakon 2003, maybe? I picked up two very simple Gunpla kits of the Mercurius and V8.
Oh, okay. Like the original, were they like no grades or were they high grade? Were they actually high grades?
They didn't have a grade on them. They were
okay.
It was like when it was like still kind of new coming into the States.
Okay. So that is like wow, like the bare minimum kind of like,
it was very bare minimum.
Yeah.
They were very simple.
Do you still have them?
Maybe.
Okay.
I haven't looked at my closet lately.
Okay, so maybe. And your thoughts on Gundam Wing in one sentence. Amazing. Perfect.
Yes,
it's
it
exactly
is amazing.
what I was thinking. Exactly.
I was trying to make a joke, but I guess I don't have enough time for it.
Well, if you close your eyes and close your ears, it's amazing.
Wow.
You'll hear just communication.
We gotta kick someone out here. Sorry. One second, Jet. No. Faz, do you still have your first kit?
Yes, and I have the painted up version of it, or I customized it to look like the one in GBO2. I'll have to post pictures of it.
Nice.
Cool.
And I guess for your comment, Mecha Wolf Unit, you're gonna go last. So Kai, tell us your Gundam experience and your first Gunpla. Tell us.
Oh, this is a story.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is a story.
Buckle in, everybody. Buckle in.
So I'm coming from like as a kid, I was like super into Transformers. My uncles watched the original G1, so they had a bunch of the stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of the toys. So I played with as a kid. So naturally, I became a Transformers fan.
Nice.
And
nice.
One day I was at a this video shop called Hastings. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And I was getting a comic book. I was getting a Justice League. No, Batman Superman World's Finest comic book.
Okay.
I think. And one of the advertisements was for Gundam Wing figures. Like it wasn't Gunpla, it was figures.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Did it have like that like blue and green kind of like box? Or was it
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly. I just remember the main showcase was the wing.
Okay.
Like a normal undamaged wing, and then the other one where it's like, it's kind of like the opening version where at the end it's missing half its face.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of other,
that's interesting.
a lot of other battle damage. My first reaction was, what the fuck happened to Starscream?
Oh, jeez.
I was like, how old was I? Like, either like 8 or 10 years old. No, I wasn't 10. I was, like 8 or 9 years old. So I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And then a little later, I actually got to watch like the first few seconds of the first episode of Wing. I think it was a rerun or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told my time on the TV off. So I almost got my start on Gundam Wing. Almost.
Yeah.
And then a lot later, I was watching Death Battle actually. The Epion Gundam versus the White Tiger Zord, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
Please tell me there's no way that the White Sword won.
Oh no, Epion by a landslide.
Oh, thank God.
But it still didn't grab me. Like it was cool and all, but for some reason it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
It might be due to the fact that, and this is going to be completely ironic because I love evil looking Gundams.
Okay.
But the Epion's design didn't grow at the time, so I was like, "Hey, this is cool." Moving on.
And a man with no
and
taste.
Then, oh, hey, hey, little me had no taste whatsoever. But then years later, they did another Gundam. They did the original Gundam versus Optimus Prime, and I gotta say, this is part of me being a big Transformers fan. I have to agree with their decision, but
oh my God, dude.
They present
what kind
it.
of crew did I bring on the show today? God damn.
No. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish my story.
Okay.
But the way that they presented the RX-72 and all that, they did it all perfectly. Like they made it look like that Amuro and the original Gundam, they were very specific. It was the original Gundam versus Optimus Prime. It wasn't Amuro in the new or in the Unicorn or anything like that. They specifically said the original Gundam, which is on its own a normal mecha.
Yeah.
And against a Transformer with literally billions of years of experience in battle, I gotta say, I gotta agree with that. But if it was Optimus versus, say, the Unicorn or or the Fats. Oh. But yeah, if it was Optimus versus like the box standard normal Optimus Prime, not Power Master Prime or Transformer Cybertron Prime, that's whole different loads of all over the place. But yeah, like before I start rambling about Optimus, sorry.
Yeah, this is not a Transformers podcast.
Yeah,
please.
I'm sorry. Just see myself out.
Missiles locked.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Baz. On my mark. Get ready. Okay.
I've never betrayed anyone in my life.
Anyway. But yeah, the way they presented the Gundam is like it seemed like it could actually beat Optimus, and I was like actually invested in it from right there.
Okay.
I became a fan of the original Gundam right there.
Wow.
And I started looking into it like this wonderful age of technology. And this was around the time it came out. It was like, what, 2014 or something like that?
That's not too long ago.
Yeah, it's not too long ago. So I've been in this for about almost 8 years now.
Okay. What was the series that really pulled you in?
Unicorn actually.
Oh.
Because what happened was I was looking for a good series to start with, and so I went to my local like nerd shop. It was basically an arcade, and I was given a goddamn list of how to watch the entire series, front to back.
There
You see the entire franchise.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, they said start with Universal Century, Zeta, Double Zeta, Stars Can Attack, F91, and then off into like the everything else. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
It's a big list.
I panicked.
Well, you know what? It's better that they didn't give you a mecha genre list to watch. Then you would have been like,
oh, I would have been there a long time.
Yeah.
I want you to watch F91.
Well, that's interesting. That's so you got in, to Unicorn.
Unicorn was how I got in because I loved the animation, the music, and the stories.
Yeah,
and the actual story itself. It was really good.
Awesome.
I had actually started with the compilation movie first, so I knew who Char was.
Nice.
So when Full Frontal came around, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's Char doing here? I thought he died."
Yeah. Well, Thank you for that, Kai.
That was a long story.
Now, I don't think I missed anyone, so we're gonna. No, I'm kidding. Lols, the lols. Mecha Wolf Unit, please enlighten us.
My story is a little bit weird for how I got into Gundam because I'm not sure which came through because the first Gundam show I watched, because when it came on Toonami when I was young, was Gundam G Fighter.
Ooh, G-Boy here.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of G no matter what, and the Shining Gundam. I even remember the Tequila Gundam. I don't know why, that image just sticks in my head. Which makes it kind of worse because I'm half Mexican. Either way. The other way, I'm not sure if how I got into Gundam was during our local Blockbuster, which, rented out games. I found a certain game called Gundam Federation versus Zeon. And that's how I actually learned the story of the original Gundam.
However it worked. It works.
Yeah. What was your first Gunpla? And do you still have it?
I still have it, but
I didn't do that question.
Yeah, sir. We'll get back to you, Kai. We'll get back to you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
one of the weird situations with this was my town doesn't have anything like that.
Okay.
So my first time going to a con, they were selling Gunpla, but I was short on money because I had already bought a chess piece that looks like the Mark II.
God
which
damn.
was quite a lot.
Damn.
So they're like, okay, we have this random box filled with maybe one or two Gunpla, and it's $25. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
And inside was the X Gundam.
Oh, interesting. That's different.
Nice.
That's different.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, was it high grade? Was it a master grade?
High
grade?
I don't think it was a master grade. I think it was a high grade.
Okay.
High grades are valid.
It's valid.
And how was it?
It was okay. I almost broke apart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I was able to slot it anyway and make it fit just right. So it still looks okay.
And you still have it, yeah?
Yeah, I still have it.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Kai. Your first kit.
My first was the high grade Revive Granddaddy Gundam.
Revive. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like the first high grade Gundam, but I wanted to start off easy and then work my way through high grade, real grade, master grade. That was a dumb mistake. But so I had the original Gundam. It was pretty nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
But my first kid, so eye stickers were janky, and this is when I learned I hated eye stickers. I hate eye stickers.
I mean, did you guys use proper nippers? Because man, my first kit was a master grade GM, like the old one way back in the day. Randomly in Toys R Us, I had no idea what Gundam really was. But the way that I built that thing was, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen it, but they're special scissors to cut fingernails and stuff. So they're curved and they're really thin. I used that damn thing to cut my to cut the runners and stuff like that. So it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But do you guys use did you guys on your first kits use proper nippers? What did you guys use?
I think I used a heavy duty
saw
jewelry snipping nippers.
Oh, damn.
So those were like my
diamond cutters.
Yeah, those things. I'm surprised this thing survived. But,
I'm being like a caveman here because I just use my hands.
I did the same thing with my first with my first Gunpla.
I
was like, okay, I'll just rip it out.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Look,
I used the starter kit that USA Gundam store had.
Damn.
Yeah, I was short on money, so I had no fancy tools. Not what I have today.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it wasn't my first model kit. My first model kit was Submarine.
Well, there you go.
Which was a very simple rip it out, kind of entry grade, kind of made to be played with.
Gundam 2018 Venus goes, if you want to create an anime, what would it be? Gee, I wonder what we're into.
It'd be Gundam. Gundam related.
Yeah,
For
nowadays I use the God Hand.
It would be Gundam VT for VTuber.
VTubers.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, you know what? Thank you all for sharing your experience and how you first got into Gundam and Gunpla. So that was, it's always interesting to hear the stories because sometimes it's not straightforward. It's just random. You flip on the channel and there's Toon Anime, and boom, Gundam, you're in. So it's great.
Or you mistake the win Starscream.
Or yeah, exactly. I'm looking for a star. I'm looking for a Starscream. I found Wing. So there you go.
I mean, it wouldn't be too much to repaint it as Scream, but I think I get a lot of hate. On Twitter.
All I remember is during elementary school when we would have writing, everyone would get pissed at me because I would always write about giant robots because I would always be writing Gundam versus Federation versus Xenon.
Is it okay to rip off the Gundam series? There's tons of animes that rip off the Gundam series. It's fine. It's normal.
I don't see a problem. There's good material to use.
Yeah, exactly.
There is literally a Gundam in Gintama. There is literally just a bunch of Gundams that all they do is censor their heads.
Yeah, like
some Gundam
the
troops
bird guy was Char.
They literally had like a costume chicken. Literally, yellow armor was part of. You've only hit my main camera.
Oh god.
Oh man. Well,
I think some Gundam stuff works backwards into Transformers. So
probably, yeah, and vice versa. Even the new stuff, yeah.
Like actually, it's just let's bring it up. There was Revenge of the Fallen, where Optimus is shooting Megatron in the chest. He's straight up doing the Gundam shooting pose, like
the original Gundam pose.
Yeah, he's in the Gundam pose.
They're and the same kind of recoil thing. It was like that just popped into my head. Like, you did it.
Yeah.
I was actually
Michael Bay, you clever bastard.
I was actually looking at.
Don't make me like that.
Your movies were bad.
Yeah, don't make me like the movie now.
But moving on, because we got the big juicy meat of today's podcast. We got we're going to be talking about episode 4, episode 5, and episode 6 of G-Witch. And
juicy episode.
I'm hoping everyone rewatched it because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of juicy bits that was wonderful, and that you pick up. So we're gonna try and do this where we don't spoil it, kind of like the later on episodes. So we're gonna try and contain it within 4, 5, and 6 as best we can, and we'll go from there. So with episode 4, it starts off basically with the proposal, right? Which basically ends poorly for Ghoul as he just Soletta just leaves him high and dry. And the interesting part of this little scene here is actually not them. It's about Choo Choo, because we get our first We get, well, not our first, but we get more of a glimpse because this is kind of like the theme of this episode, where she says, Spacians live such carefree lives. You know, kind of insinuating that, Spacians kind of have like a, you know, like an upper echelon. You know, they just live a wonderful, like, you know, stress-free life compared to, you know, Earthians. So this is kind of our like first little peek at what's going to happen in this episode, or what this episode's about. And we get to see kind of the theme of Earthians versus Despacians. And after this clip, because we're gonna get into the meat of this, we're just gonna go by the scenes here. We see Vim, who's Ghoul's father, in a Zoom meeting. You know, he's Zoom meeting with basically, I think it's like the directors or like the shareholders of the company, and they're like, dude, your son lost again, bro. Okay, we're gonna have to cut some funding. We're gonna have to cut some funding. And he's like, shit. So basically they cut a bit of his funding, and like that's that scene. So that's pretty disappointing for him, and that probably makes him more pissed off at his son, right? Because they already have a bad relationship. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
After that, we see Soletta in school in the classroom, and she gets her special holder uniform, nice and white with the black and like the crest and all that stuff. And another interesting thing about that scene is like we see like the students around, they're already gossiping, like, oh, how long were they dating, referring to Ghoul and Soletta, and like, you know, why did she refuse and stuff like that. So that was kind of so we can see like things spread really fast in the school. And like when duels happen, it's really like everyone watches, and it's like a very high school setting, right? And then go ahead.
Something about the holder uniform, at least for Slow, at least. Yeah. The color gives me major Zen vibes with that sort of winged design on the collar.
Oh yeah.
That's something I've noticed in I've been watching a lot of other Gundam shows. Was like, I'm not sure if it's on purpose, but it's like how much Xeon stuff can we Xeon or Federation stuff can we like
it looks more regal
in,
like it looks more regal, right?
Yeah.
Looks, I agree.
I mean, I know that's the point, that it's supposed to look more regal. I was just watching the first episode of the podcast, and the whole discussion of how is actually just all some big like medieval thing, but with giant robots.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having
it works for
duels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Silhouette is essentially right now the prince, so she has this princely look, which of course makes sense.
Yep. And everyone's trying to get after her, you know.
Yeah.
And they're all going to school.
All the girls from the first episode come up to her and are like, just like giving this poor girl more anxiety than she needs. I was Silhouette in school. Like, I had a hard time talking to people, and I stuttered a lot. The scene I like about this is that Ghoul comes in, and it's like he's trying to like save face, because he lost the duel, so he has to apologize to Miorne, right? But he comes in and he's like, he looks at Soletta, and he's like, there's no way I could possibly like a country bumpkin or slash Mercurian wench like you. And then he goes to like apologize. He bows in front of like all the students and to Miorne. And I'm wondering if you guys think that this was a sincere apology or him just kind of saving face, though, because he could have just apologized, but like, I'm sorry. But instead he made a bow. Like, what do you guys think of this?
I honestly think it's truthful, because would he really insult her first before bowing to her if he wasn't at least sincere somewhat?
Right. Okay.
Like, if he was really bullshitting this whole time, he would have like kissed her ass the entire time.
Right.
Oh yeah. I think at this point at this point, I think it's partly him trying to save face.
Okay.
But this also does show how do I put it, like, honorable he is, because
Okay.
I think in some way it is sincere.
Okay.
Like, he actually felt sorry for acting like an absolute
Asshat.
absolute
Yeah.
towards Mjorne, and she didn't deserve any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
And,
staying within the episodes. Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it seems like he, like, since him and his father don't really have a good relationship whatsoever.
I mean, his
Probably all about the
Gundam,
company.
his Gundam looks more like a Gion than it looks like a Gundam.
Yeah, true. Mocha, Mocha, do you agree?
Oh, I don't think I necessarily agree with Gwell trying to save face. It's more like he was only benefiting himself by looking more like a gentleman in that situation.
Yeah. I
And
kind of
that,
yep.
And that he's only kind of looking out for himself at this point, because you can easily tell by this point it's only about him. That's
Right.
it.
There's part of me that agrees with that, because just the setting, right? He's around like a bunch of other students. There's a teacher there. He needs to kind of save some face, and the fact that like he doesn't say anything rude to Mjorne, but he calls Soletta a country bumpkin and calls her a wench. So that's kind of like, he's still got that attitude, so but maybe there is some sincerity in his apology to Mjorne. But yeah.
I mean, he does contradict himself later in other episodes.
Yes, and we'll get to that too, yeah. The next kind of like scene is basically the Demi trainer training the minefield. We see that Choo Choo fails, right, because of the pranksters, unfortunately. And Soletta panics because she's got no spotter and she's got no house. And it's like, yo, did you not get like the damn, like, what's it called? Like the memo, when you first get to school, they give you like a memo or whatever, like
Did
what
you
you
not
need.
read the syllabus?
There you go, the syllabus. Yes.
I got a lot of things to say about, because this says a lot about Prospera as a mom.
I know.
But,
Well, yeah, I know, it's true. But we get to
the whole thing on slow. Yeah, slow is the
yeah.
Prospera.
We'll get there. We'll
get there when we get there.
So we obviously see like with Choo Choo failing, we see like, and she seems like she's doing well. Like this is like our first glimpse of like Choo Choo actually, like she seems like competent, right? She knows what she's doing. But she got basically pranked by the Spacian scum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the same time, at the same time, we kind of see like a little bit of her hot-headedness, her temper.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Beats up kids.
One of the interesting things afterwards was, Soletta not having a house, and she's trying to like, hey, like, can you be, like, she's asking people around school, hey, can you be my spotter? Like, I need a house. Can you be, can I join your house? And there's like this one kid, and it's like, oh, like, I don't know, like, man, like, look, I don't want to anger the Jerk house, right? Like, why do you guys think like it would be such a big issue for another house to accept her? Like, what? Like, why?
Wow.
I get the feeling it's about support, because it would be basically a show of support towards her, instead of like maybe their families are aligned with a different house.
Okay.
Which this all seems very knightly in sort of the way.
It does.
It's like rival houses or like War of the Roses style.
Yeah.
A while ago, I'm not sure. It might have been your tweet, Aya, but there was a connection with this and the Shakespearean play, The Tempest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very much on with that, because it's hitting the right spots. It's very Shakespearean.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, it
Oh
is.
yeah, by this point, definitely.
Oh yes. But my idea, something I picked up was like that sort of medieval thing, like that medieval idea, like Jiturk is probably like one of the top houses of the I almost said Behelit group. That's not it. Wrong anime.
No, Benneret.
Benneret.
Also,
Jesus.
probably since they're a big house, they can punch down if they really want to on someone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or is that
Well,
like want to make enemies?
It's kind of like I mean, that makes perfect sense because at that point, Jiturk was basically like the top dog of the Benneret group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Full suits
you
were
can
all
almost
over the
kind of
place.
like think of them like sort of like any other like mega corporation where they can always punch down if they want to, but very seldom do
they're-
they, because they maintain this very polished, squeaky clean public image. But as soon as you dig past like the surface level, it's
Yeah.
like it's classic corporation bad.
Yeah, they're the Anaheim Electrics of this timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things too, it's like I feel like it's well, she joins like a house that's kind of like, maybe mid-tier or like a lower tier, and she just makes that house a target now, right? For the big boys. For the big groups. And I think that they don't
everyone
want
in
that
our
attention.
family is now a target.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
They don't want that.
yeah. So that's kind of what I think. It's my opinion on that. And right after that, we see who do we see? We see Nika. We see Nika again.
Man.
It's so funny. Like, I think we're gonna see this a lot, where she's just like, at the right time, the right moment. She's always there, and she offers people
theories.
who can help her. And I guess,
So many theories.
yeah, we again like see that dynamic, of the Earthian house, right? So they kind of like, they're not sure if they want to take her because really she's from Mercury, she's a Spacian, right? So there's a bit of like disagreement, and then eventually they just kind of like say, yeah, like we'll take her, kind of thing, right? And we get the classic, the next scene's basically the goat scares Soletta, and we've seen this before in
Yeah.
the Dolan movie not too long ago, and with Amuro. So, and that was kind of a little cute little moment. I think it was like in the original as well too. So
I have to watch the original. I don't remember.
yeah, we actually find out like the house members' names. It's I think it's her name's Lilique, Martin, Alia, Till, Ohalo, and Nuno. So those are basically the members. Well, and Choo-Choo, of course, the members of the house.
Oh yeah.
And Nika's part of the Earthian house. Dun dun dun. Do you guys find it odd that Soletta has no concept of the conflict between Spacians and Earthians? Like, when there's all this, tension between Spacians and Earthian and what's going on, she just kind of seems to like look away into the sky, like daydreaming. Like, she has no idea what's going on. Do you think that's weird?
Giving her mother, I would say this seems like, and giving her, well, obvious attitude, it seems like she was raised more in solitude than anything else.
Same thing. I think Mercury, from what I can tell from the context we have, is so far removed from any of this conflict that maybe everyone on Mercury doesn't actually care, and it's only Proper who does.
It's not just that, it's also because that Mercury is only known for, at least at this point in time, they're only known for like one thing, and it's a mining colony. That's it.
Yeah, for permit,
And
right?
Oh yeah.
They really don't know much else about what the development of any other technology that was going on at the Mercury colonies was.
And they don't like
happening.
outsiders, right? They're not a big fan of outsiders.
The Mercurians,
Mercury.
sort of, but I think it's more just the fact that it's a very small colony compared to like every place else, that
Yeah.
everybody knows everybody, and it's it's hard to like let someone in that inner circle.
Yeah, I'm in that situation, or it's not fun.
It's very clear she's out of her depth in this idea because obviously Mercury has been left alone for the most part. More like, it's not like imports go in, it's more things go out.
I feel
They're
like
more of a supplier than anything. So like Soletta just not knowing about the conflicts between the houses, like because like in the previous scene, she's looking for a house to support her.
Yeah.
More than anything.
that's true. She just kind of like asks anybody, like really, like that's what we're like. We can kind of assume like she's just like she's no concept, like just ask any house, like doop 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 doop, like just nonchalant,
It's a school to her while everyone is just like trying to be the best in these duels.
And then we see Choo Choo, who sees Soletta in the house, and she gets mad as hell that a Spacian is in the Earth house. And I actually like started thinking, I found it like interesting because in this episode, like the theme is like racism so present. But I also was wondering too, maybe it's not like completely like racism, but more of a class system issue. Like it's more of a upper class versus lower class, and like the Spacians are upper and the Earthians are kind of a lower class, more so than a racism issue. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's something kind of like the racism is there. Because again, I'm coming from Gundam Seed, and it's like all coordinators and naturals and stuff like that. Except it's not entirely like that because the Spades aren't like new types or coordinators. They're not new humans. They're just people still. So it is something like that. It's a classist thing.
Yeah.
Really. And like Choo Choo is like like the daughter of a bunch of miners. So of course she doesn't like that. Like this, what she sees as this princess looking person, Soletta, walking in like her owns the place, and of course she flies off. And given what we know about Choo Choo, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh wow! Thanks for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. You didn't need to do that. Thank you so much. That was a good point. That was a really good point.
Calling back
go ahead.
Calling back to the night bit, it's obviously like they don't probably view people from Mercury all that well, like closer to like peasants that make their food.
Yes.
Anything
They're just tending to the crops.
Too closely at the farmers.
They're tending to the crops, samurai. Basically, right?
Yeah, the samurai looked too closely at farmers when they started making ninja weapons out of their farming tools.
Yeah. So here we go, basically, with the aerial as a farming tool.
Well, wasn't it like first episode? Was it like a search and rescue mobile suit? Supposed to be anyway.
Basically, what it was supposed to be was they were trying to through the aerial design technology that would make it safer to help mine permit on Mercury, or not maybe mine, but live in the difficult conditions. That was kind of what they were trying to do. Yeah,
it was like a hazard
given the
for the conditions that they have to mine in.
Yeah.
So they could just developing a mobile worker for a hazard.
I can kind of see that, but the freaking thing has bits.
Yeah, again,
makes it easier to mine.
Closely at the mundane equipment to see that this is a super weapon.
Yeah. I want to go back. I want to move forward to we see our sad, and we see Guel basically really sad, and I was actually pretty sad too because the Darbalde was taken away from him, and
they actually have a pretty good design.
I love the design, and I was just really sad because basically it's one more thing taken away from him.
Yeah,
and then we see the next kind of scene is Elan. He sees a sad Soletta because she didn't really. I guess she got really upset with the way Choo Choo reacted, and he actually offers. He actually offers her to join his house. And if you were her, would you have taken it?
I don't know.
Nani?
the vibes I got off of Ellen at the time. I mean, knowing what I know now, I know why he was doing it, but
Yeah.
but
Erase
at the
that.
time,
Erase that from your mind.
He felt very scummy at the time.
Okay.
So me personally, I might have taken him up on the off, but been very conflicted about it.
Okay.
But
the one poor thing is it's space and it's very cold out here. You need a place to sleep.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's
Yeah.
a freaking question. They don't exactly show where Soletta was sleeping
Yeah.
before Mjolnir basically just said, "Hey, come to my room, you
Yeah.
freaking idiot."
Yeah.
Oh,
Faz,
I got a lot of things to say about
Faz,
that.
what
Oh,
do
I'd be
you-
willing to. I'd if I was a betting man, I would easily say the broom closet at the pilot school.
Damn.
Probably.
Damn.
Soletta
Faz.
does seem to be the kind to be a very gorilla sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Faz, would you have accepted?
Sleep anywhere.
I probably would have said thank you for the offer. I'm going to consider other options. I might come back to you.
You don't have
gonna
other
That's what I
options.
said,
I'm
almost
gonna
GFX
You know-
consider the broom closet.
It's either
I will sleep
it's
in that
either
broom
Elan,
closet. I'm a robot. I'll
It's
sleep in
either-
that hanger.
it's either Elan or the broom closet.
You're asking
Oh,
a
she
man
might have been
about
sleeping
owning a
in
house. I
Ariel.
have a hanger.
They just made no. Look, there's a broom closet for mobile suits. Okay. How do you think they
might
sweep the
have been there.
battlefield?
Just sleep in the closet like
You
Bender.
went there. Here.
Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. She was in the cell for the first 2 episodes. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I know, I'm back.
I forgot about that. She was in the cell. Forgot about that.
Yeah, she was in the.
That was her
So-
bed. Jesus.
But it's
First 2 days at school in jail.
So we see kind of like Mjolnir kind of like interrupt and is like Soletta, what are you doing? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? And she's like, oh, but he's so kind and he's gentle and you know and all these things. And I'm like, what, Nani? You know, I'm like, Nani? And
Dude is creepy.
it's so we kind of get another more sense of who she is. Like she latches on to like the to the instance of someone giving her like really positive and welcoming like kind of like energy or vibes. It's almost like she craves it, like she needs it, right? And I thought it was interesting. But what do you guys think about how like her perception of that? Because Kai, you said, you know, when you're thinking of like when we asked you about joining his house, you're like, he's scummy. Like how do you feel about this situation in Soletta?
Kind of just putting myself in Soletta's shoes because Soletta was a lot like me when I was in school. Very quiet, meek, and just kind of very quiet, stuttery.
Yeah.
I kind of did latch on to some friends and stuff, and luckily for me, they were good friends.
Good.
But I get that she's probably just been very. Again, we don't know too much. It's a lot of conjecture about how her life growing up was, but feeling rather isolated. She would probably just latch on to the first person who showed her real kindness, and at that point, it was this guy Ellen who showed her any kind of kindness, and she doesn't have the know-how of like Gwell and Mjolnir to know that Ellen is, well, kind of creepy and doesn't actually care about anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one thing about Soletta and Mjolnir that I think is going to makes it very compelling to watch them, because especially right now is again how driven Mjolnir is. She doesn't communicate very well given her situation. And I think that's the main problem with her and Soletta, especially right now in who they are.
Yeah, they still don't really know each other too well.
Like the only time they actually started acting bonding was in an episode we haven't watched yet. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say that kind of shows her the lack of affection that she's had in her life up until this point.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very concerning.
That both of them have had
exactly.
any lack of affection. And dear God.
It's like, was she living in her was she actually living in the cockpit of her mobile suit? You know what I mean?
makes me think that space parents are kind of bad.
Well, it's kind of a trend.
I mean,
it's kind of a trend we're seeing,
it's always
right?
kind of been it's always kind of been a trend in Gundam.
Yeah, Amro's dad just leaving him alone in the house.
Camille's
While
dad
he goes to
that he
Earth and builds
kills.
mobile suits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Char and his mommy issues.
Next, we go and we find out, Soletta kind of, Miorne kind of takes Soletta with her, and they go to. We find out she doesn't have a house. Like Miorne is not part of any type of house, and she took I think it was like the chairman's office and made it into like a hydroponic plant house. So I thought that was kind of neat. It's showing like the opposite nature of her. Like when you meet Miorne and people like face value, she's like stern, she's like very driven, right? And like stern.
Mhm.
She's not very warm, right? But when we see her actions like away from everybody, it's very nurturing, right? Tomatoes and her plants. And so I thought that was kind of like we're seeing kind of like the inside of Miorne, who she really is, right? Because someone like that, who's really driven and probably won't have much time to stop and take care of things and nurture. So I think Miorne is actually really a nurturing and lovable kind of person, but just deeply troubled due to her mom's death and basically kind of like her controlling father. So. Well, look, guys, I really want to talk about this. It's Miorne's goddamn room. You see all those damn trash bags? What the hell?
I relate.
I just want to say I feel personally attacked by this this portrayal.
You should.
I know, but I'm also rooming with my brother, so it's not all my trash.
Listen.
Still take it out, you fucks.
A princess is used to having maids. She's probably not used to having anyone to take care of.
That's true.
Look,
But yes, the state of Miorne's room is completely atrocious, and it makes me vomit, despite my room looking very similar.
I counted like 30 trash bags.
Okay, I don't have trash all over the
Okay.
place. I take out the trash.
Look, I need to understand something here. Like, how does her room and how does she not smell like absolute trash?
I'm wondering where
Like,
did
what
she
the
put
hell?
it? Like, there should be a cleaning bot or something? How did they just
You
keep
would
it in there?
A cleaning horror.
Yeah.
all over the
Is
place.
she like hoarding this trash? Like, no, it's mine.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how does she.
Articles are valuable.
I don't know how she doesn't smell like trash when she leaves the place. You know what I mean? Like her clothes are
Good
there.
question.
You know. Do you
And
guys?
also,
Yeah.
2 showers
I was
every
going to say,
day.
as a random aside, I have to also make a comment about the hydroponic garden.
Yeah.
What is it
please.
with anime characters and growing tomatoes?
That's
we
a
have
good
we have
question.
this, and then there was
Like
also
tomato.
the whole thing about tomatoes in the show The Big O.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. That was also
Yeah.
one of my first
Yeah.
mecha shows.
I really need to
there you
actually
go.
watch that. Someone at
I
work keeps
think-
recommending, and they're like, "Hey,
I-
have you watched it yet?" I'm like,
Go watch
I haven't
so we can
found it.
discuss
I think I know why.
I feel so.
It's because
dumb.
tomatoes grow above ground. And they're a lot easier to make than, let's say, an apple tree or a banana tree or anything like that. They're a
Yeah.
lot easier to
Makes
grow.
sense.
Yeah.
And
They're
of course, they're a
fast
bright
growing fruit.
red. They're a bright red, which is a very striking color.
Makes sense.
Also, like I thought, like an anime, like kind of like fruits and stuff like that, and like kind of like flowers, kind of like symbolize like a love or a birthing of love, or like a very strong relationship kind of forming as well, and a nurturing kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But then we get to her room and it's just trash.
I
You
mean,
get to
that
her
might
room,
be
it's trash.
bad. That might be
Above
bad
every
considering
kind
what you
person
just
is a
said,
trashy room.
because see, tomatoes were actually grown from the nightingale, a poisonous flower. So
Oh.
Really?
I'm surprised you know this, Mac.
I like
This is why we
tomatoes a
have
lot.
people with,
I'm hungry.
that's why we gather the peoples here. Vast amounts of knowledge. My question
I
is,
did
do you
not know
guys
that.
think that her room, I mean, because the writers could have given her a clean, normal room. Do you think there's any symbolic meaning to having her room this trashy?
So
That she's a normal
probably-
person at the end of the
Oh
day.
yeah, There's definitely something here.
Because if she was like stereo, go ahead.
Wait, I want to hear Faz. I want to hear Faz. Faz, tell me.
Yeah, so probably because like with all this like sense of nobility everywhere, it could be like different living conditions and just like not wanting to present yourself as like taking out all this trash and everything. So it's like, you know, like all of us, we all keep our trash in. We got a lot of stuff in there, so it could be symbolic that maybe later on, maybe the second season of Witcher Mercury, we might see more of why.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I get what you're saying. It's like a reflection of our mental state right now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good. That's good.
Because she's just a complete mess. Like, she looks all tidy and all that, but once you actually get to know her, like, you see, like, you know, the garbage and, you know, the shit that's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, inside, she's just a mess of emotions and stuff, and she is very willing letting Sloetta into her personal sanctum, which is actually saying a lot.
Especially when your place is trash.
What the hell?
You're a trash princess.
Yeah, Mocha, what did you want to say?
Oh, the whole thing about her being trashy, it's just the other side. I think it has to do with like the other side of her personality, that she's trying to hide this other side of her that, you know, publicly facing, she's perfect, she's very prim and all that. But then you see like this little peek behind the scenes is that it's that little like, it's that silent cry for help and saying, I'm a mess, someone help me.
Yeah.
Crawling in my skin.
Just like how we
Get some Linkin Park up in here. Get some Linkin Park up in here.
Just like how all Gundam fans have to finish their backlog.
God, no.
Never.
So
me and my 26 backlog.
there you go. So
You guys have
shortly
seen my streams. You've seen the Leaning Tower of Gunpla on my couch.
Oh my god.
Every time I can't catch any of your guys' streams. I feel so bad.
I'll send you a picture.
Shortly after, kind of the next scene we see is kind of like a disturbing one. We kind of see because we don't really know what's going on Earth. It hasn't been really mentioned until now. We kind of like see a news broadcast, and it's like a riot scene. And there's signs up saying like, you know, worker resist, down with Spacian oppression, we're suffering. So it seems like, you know, Earth is not like the greatest place to be, and it's kind of the Spacians. You know, yeah, I don't really know too much going on just from the glimpse of it, but it seems like all the people who kind of like, you know, the brains, the powerful, the rich, kind of move to space, and they don't got to pay taxes, and all the labor that was done, you know, is by people of Earth and who helped them get there. And so all the people who want to live comfortably are gone to space and kind of leaving Earth in not, you know, I'd say a pretty bad shape because of what we've seen in the previous episodes where they kind of showed the concerns each kind of Earth and Spacians had. And for Earth, it was like, you know, welfare, it was jobs, it was like all this stuff. And it was just seems like Earth in general is just going through like a big, going through poverty and a food crisis. Like, what do you guys think is happening down there?
I just had a revelation, which when you said no taxes made me think of one thing, the French Revolution.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
When they didn't have to pay taxes,
It's
very
because
much
the nobles
modeled after
did not have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing is just using Earth as a resource pit, just like forcing the Earthlings to just like dig, keep working.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on you.
Like a Warhammer with the egg
down.
world.
Look down.
So
very Les Miserables now. Very Les Miserables. I love it. Oh my god, it's awesome.
So
And it makes me think of the head crest. That's beheadings because you're aiming for the head.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if that's the case, who's King Louis and who's Marie Antoinette in this?
Well,
It does make me curious because, like,
I don't want to talk about it.
For anyone that's like like wondering about Gundam Mercury, it is not part of the UC timeline, so this is all different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we also see like there's signs saying like liberty and equality, justice and peace for Earth. We want economic fairness. So it just seems like it's almost like the Spacians that were on Earth at the time kind of like demolished the resources, the food, and like packed it all up and went to space. And kind of left to.
Or they could just
basically basically. Have you ever seen that movie called Elysium with Matt Damon?
Yes.
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 It's basically Elysium with
Yeah.
mobile suits. That's exactly what this is. And
I hate that you're right.
as a little
That's
bit of a
really
comment,
good.
I will have to
Yeah, it's a really good comparison.
and I will also have to say that as a comment that this is the kind of stuff that more Gundam shows need to be more ballsy with
Yeah.
and explore a little bit deeper. And not knocking like a few shows that have gotten a little bit deeper into the trenches of
Mhm.
the politics of Gundam, especially ones like Unicorn, but this was a great storytelling step, and
Yes.
I truly really do hope more Gundam shows go in this kind of direction.
Yeah.
This is good storytelling.
Screw
I
whatever
don't think
Twitter
some-
says.
Like I agree with you. I agree with you, but maybe they also like when they're doing like the serious stuff, simultaneously release more like build fighter stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just like pure action and build. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely.
At the same
Can be
time.
fun.
Yeah.
But I do
Right.
like that this is actually really in depth, and even kids that are watching this, like this stuff will fly by their head, and but adults, but you can watch it with your family. Maybe not the last episode too much, but like you know what I mean. So, but you can watch it with your kid, and the kid will have fun with the mobile suits and the pretty colors and all that stuff. And then like people who like are older can actually really value the story that's going on, and I think it's written well.
Because it's like one of those things. It's like you don't kind of think about it, and then you see like the mobile the Delanzas being used as riot police, and then all of a sudden you see one shoot a gas shell straight at a crowd, and it's like you have to remember that is something about the size of a 55-gallon drum flying at you at terminal velocity.
Yeah.
Absolutely
You ain't walking away from
insane.
that. That's not a non-lethal weapon. Dude.
And it's crazy because it wasn't even the riot police like marching up with their shields and them shooting the gas. It was a damn mobile suit. It was a damn mobile suit that did it. And I'm like, they're not messing around, man. So I
hate
good.
It wasn't even an airburst round for like tear gas or anything. They just sent that thing.
Send it.
They didn't care where it landed.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I hate to bring it up, but it does make me think of a scene in Hathaway's Flash where the good part of
the
Hathaway's
city
Flash.
attack.
Yeah,
Yes.
the city attack where the
Oh.
Federation just drops in full mobile suits, don't give a shit about anyone else around them.
And that's
And
kind
they
of
just open fire
Yeah.
on suspected terrorists.
And we've
Wait,
seen
was
that-
that
not
the
in mobile
Federation or was
suits.
that the Titans? I
But-
couldn't.
but
Was
we've
that
also-
was the Titans?
Oh, the Titans did the same thing. The Titans did the same thing.
Yeah,
But-
we've seen that in other series as well, where they just go into colonies and whatever, right? So,
Federation, the one that came up with rules and they never follow them.
yeah.
Like another good example is
No
like
one follows them. What are you talking about? No one
there-
ever
hold
follows
on.
them.
True.
Hold on. There's
Like an alternate.
a more important topic we need to discuss, because the next scene after this is which I don't think it's talked about enough, but man, Choo Choo's got like 5 or 6 dads. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that scene?
Yeah, she was raised by a family of miners.
Yeah.
Like, that are probably all her dads.
Yeah. I thought that was was incredible.
Yeah, that was actually a really cool little like insight into Choo Choo's character, because
Yeah, I really like
you kind of see like the whole "it takes a village" in its literal form,
Yeah.
and it's Choo Choo, and
Yeah.
it also very easily implies that Choo Choo was likely orphaned at a very young age and then picked up by
Yes.
whoever this family is.
Yes.
Seems to be the
hard
theme.
working, and it's like a hard working family with values. And you can see that in Choo Choo, right? And the unfortunate part is like you also see the negative side, right? Is where how she has this such deep hatred for space scenes. You know, it's sad. It's sad.
But it also shows her rough exterior and willingness to punch people if
Yes,
they
and we'll
she
get to
needs
that
it.
too. And we'll get to
Oh,
that
yeah.
too.
We'll get to the best scene in the series so far.
I guess we can kind of talk about it a little bit. Do you guys think Prospera is a bad mom for not even teaching Soletta the basics of school? Because you know, there's a scene right after that is Mjolnir, she's like, Soletta, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm trying to study this, and it's literally the basics of syllabus, you know, the syllabus and like what to do and what not to do, and like, you know, for the class and the mechs. And it's like I feel like Soletta is like a toddler going into grade 5 or something, you know, where like it's just she's so out of it. And I have to say I had a similar experience where I moved from a small town to a really big city, and going into that school was I kind of felt like Soletta, where like things were so different. And I don't know, do you guys kind of blame Prospera? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Like,
I
no matter
Kind of blame in a sense where it's
Yeah,
like
there's-
she's just thrown into this.
Yeah.
Remember that she's just thrown into this.
Yeah.
no matter what, it's her mother.
See,
On
here
one hand,
Go ahead.
hand,
Mo-
I have a,
Moku,
I have
go
a
ahead,
bit of
go
a
ahead.
I have a bit of a tinfoil hat theory about all this, but
Okay. As
I
long
think
as
that-
it doesn't surpass our knowledge of this episode at this moment, then you can talk about it. But
well, I think this kind of harkens back
Tinfoil
to
hat.
the
Okay.
stuff involving the prologue a little bit.
okay,
Is that I don't think that Prospera is really embracing the motherly side of things. That she's more of like, as I like to call it, like she basically has turned she's basically turned Soletta into the Manchurian Candidate. That
okay.
if she does like if something like is told to her, or something like you know, something like she says becomes like the way that she turns into, like, you know, this absolutely amazing pilot.
Right.
yeah.
But I think that is where it stops, is that Soletta is basically just an experiment. She's not a daughter
Like
or
a
anything
tool.
to Prospera.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That actually makes me think of Gundam Wing, where like we will create the perfect pacifist by killing everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, she also, I will say one thing, that
Yep.
that helmet is so stupid.
Wow.
It's such a weird helmet. It gives me full frontal vibes.
It looks like it
It
belongs on a
looks like
broken
it was more on
Zaku.
him.
It's dollar store full frontal.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks more like full frontal's helmet to me.
Oh,
Do you-
Frodo, that
I
was
mean-
that was half backside.
Yeah, I know.
Dude,
We have Char at home. Char at home.
Soletta mentioned that that her driving desire was to build a school on Mercury, but one of the and she said that like the Mercurians were like so proud of her that was her goal, and they gave her like good luck charms and gave her like, you know, well wishes. And I'm not sure if you guys read like the short story before that, but I'm kind of feeling sus about that.
A lot of what I have to say about Sluetta's some theories about Sluetta are beyond these episodes.
Okay. I just thought, because like I'm not sure if you guys read the short story, but it just seemed like the
skimmed
people
it.
there are kind of not welcoming, and there's not a lot of young people, but they didn't really like them, and they just kind of like Soletta and her mom kind of kept to themselves and did a little bit of this and that. But I didn't see from that short little story the Mercurians being very welcoming. So part of me kind of feels like this is fake news or some sort of like, I don't know, hallucination. I don't know. But I was just like, if I didn't have that knowledge of the short story, maybe I'd just be like, oh, I believe this, you know, this is fine. But
Yeah, that
I
was
don't
me
know.
at the time.
Did you guys read the short story? Any of you?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Sadly,
I
I
think
did
I
not.
skimmed
I didn't
it.
know
I
that
did
this thing
not.
existed.
Yes.
Me
It
neither.
exists.
it.
I fell asleep to it, but it was pretty interesting.
Okay. All right.
Like the only I caught were like the ones that were showcased on Twitter, and was like, remember, was that Ariel being slightly, not fully aware.
Okay.
And that was kind of it, and how it knew that it's just part of a revenge plan. And apparently Soletta also low-key knows, but is denying it.
Yep.
Which says a lot about how she's, I don't know, treated, or how she personally thinks of Prospera. But
I just thought of a really bad joke. It's like, instead of throwing a colony at Earth, they're gonna throw a colony at another colony.
Oh God.
that's the next, isn't it?
That's the.
What you say?
So like moving on forward, like we see like the next clip basically is the damn Spacians up to no good. They're painting the camera lens again, and Soletta needs to take the exam, and we have a sad Soletta because she fails thanks to the Spacians and their paint, and you know, she gets really sad, and one of the best scenes kind of occur right after this. Is we get that knockout.
Oh yes, that was
As we get
probably
that
one of
knockout.
one of the best animated punches in anime. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, most of the time when you see a punch in anime, they're sent flying in the opposite direction, which is so stupid. Like it
I love it.
feels that testosterone for, like, because I watch Dragon Ball Z quite normally. So, but
Yeah.
like they're flying in the air. There's like nothing to brace them. This is like very normal. Human punches human. They just go down. Like
Just like
they're
that
not.
she just clocks them out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
then like then like kind of like a big scrap happens, and they all kind of like are in a fight. And there's nothing better than, you know, being part of a fight that kind of brings people closer. And it's
Especially
kind of
with
like this is
Soroka.
kind of what happens with Choo Choo and Soletta a bit. And it's, you know, it's not always about the destination. It's the friends that you make along the way. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless you
punching
land
Spacist in the face.
Yeah.
unless you land an elbow
And
through the top rope, because I'll let you guys know that shit is satisfying when you feel like that elbow.
Like, that singular punch was one of the very few times I actually went and screamed yes as soon as soon as that blow landed.
I
was like,
winced
I
at
was
that
like-
scene.
I was like, yes.
What
winced.
annoyed me
Proper
was
justice.
Yeah.
I was so surprised by it. I didn't even realize it was coming.
Fucking cut.
And it's
I was
Andy
spoiled
Aaron-
how epic the scene was thanks to Twitter. I'm so
Yeah.
mad that I didn't get to actually experience it firsthand.
yeah.
But then when I actually watched it, I think I really just grunted, "Yes! Punch her in the face!"
Like, you don't get, like, in mech
great.
shows, you don't get many satisfying CQC fights, aside from Metal
Yes.
Gear, but we don't
Yeah.
talk but
Yeah.
Or we
yeah.
could talk about the weird sword fight between Char and Amuro.
Oh God.
Or just
Uh,
G Gundam.
I thought that was
Second
terminated
one.
with a weird sword fight.
That was definitely the space opera moment of the original Gundam.
And basically short after this, we see Nika again. She seems to just pop up at the right moments, like when things are kind of significant. And this significant moment basically is, you know, Soletta becoming a member of the Earthian House. So that's kind of where that episode ends. Then we go to episode 5, where things start getting spicy.
Oh yes.
It gets spicy. We see Elan showing off
we're,
some.
we're definitely hitting ghost pepper levels of spicy in this one.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing. It starts off with we see Elan showing off his skills in the Zarawat, and basically was it 3v1, 4v1, and he just absolutely shows off his piloting skills and wrecks. And after that scene, we get into like basically the Peel group, and they don't call him Elan. They call him enhanced person number 4. They call him basically a thing, like a tool rather than a person, because they were gathering biological data for enhanced person number 4 and making sure everything was in normal range. And I'm assuming, you know, obviously we assume it's Elan. What was your first thoughts on this?
My mind immediately went to cyber new types.
Oh yeah.
Cyber new types?
That
Yeah,
was where my head.
I was exactly the
oh my
same thing. I was
God.
like, oh well, here's the cyber new type.
Yep.
And that
Well,
shit
cyber new
always
types,
get
cloning,
crazy
let's
when
go.
they're involved.
I
Either
and that.
people-
Oh.
I thought for like when I first heard it, because I was thinking about, I wasn't thinking new types. I was more thinking like, okay, we've seen like depictions of basically people, especially in the prologue, right? Like enhanced with cybernetics and like becoming more machine than man and stuff like that. So I thought he was basically more machine than man now, especially with his personality, right? So stoic and kind of like a little bit heartless. And so I was thinking, that was my dog, sorry, that he may be just kind of like a robot, you know? And I was thinking, damn, maybe he's just chipped in now. He's just like a robot. But that's what I was, that's what I was thinking. And of course, one of the members said, what about the other witch? So I'm assuming that Elan's a witch.
Yeah, I don't really tell them pilots witches.
Yeah. So like people who can use permit scores or pilot Gundams are witches.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems alright because
I think that's what they were implying, is that the other witch is Suletta, and they mean that witches are the ones who can use permit scores above. What was the level that they broke in the prologue? Was it like 4 that it gets
Yeah, they
dangerous?
went to
4.
A 4.
And that's when
4 was the max.
Yeah, 4 was the max.
4 was the max,
and
except for certain people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's struggling.
Normally it's
on
only
4.
up to like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
If 3 was when things started getting really bad, and 4 was like when
We can
when brain damage ensued.
if we really want to get into it, it's like an image sort of thing where it's like Gundams are usually bringers of death and destruction, decay, so it's like a witch casting a curse.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Gundam.
Well, they are cursed, right? Well, because of the permit score and the abilities and the things that cause you cursed. Kind of
it
thing.
depends on the story, but in this one, these are most definitely the demons that like witches would speaking in Salem terms, that witches would summon to terrorize people.
Right.
And they would end up paying for it with their lives and their soul.
Yes, for the power, they basically pay with their lives, right?
Yep.
It all comes back to iron-blooded orphans.
It's just going to be like how mainstream Gundam is just going to be portrayed, unless it's Universal Century, where they're just gigantic robots. They're giant tanks. And
basically, the end of like this part, this scene is like he's basically tasked to investigate like the aerial, right? We see the next kind of like scene is like House Earth. They're working on aerial, but it seems like, because they even say, man, this is like super advanced, like this is high tech stuff. And I found it kind of funny because I have to remember these are teenagers and they're working on a Gundam and mobile suits. And in my teens, I was like struggling to learn calculus and algebra, you know, and I'm like, oh, God damn, the knowledge, you know, and I was just like, and
they're all just turning into Iron Man from Armored Adventures.
Yeah. Let's be honest. If any of us actually gained the ability or knowledge to make a Gundam, the worst kind of things would happen at our teens.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I would have been so. That would no. I imagined what I would have done with Doc Ock. So don't give me a Gundam when I was like 13. No.
Yeah. The again, Nika is here, and it just again, she's always at the right kind of like important moments. So obviously, this is a very important scene with
stuff like this is actually why I refer to her as Convenient Nika.
Yeah, Convenient Nika. Yeah. And she just seems to be in very important scenes, and it's like if she's in a scene at this point, I'm like, okay, this is important. You know, this has some significance to moving the story forward in the plot. So we see some actual witchery voodoo with kind of like the fortune telling with Aaliyah and Suletta. She threw some bones and some marbles or whatever it was, like stones, and was saying like, oh, Suletta, like you don't have a dad, and she's like, oh no, he died when I was young. Do you guys think she knows like exactly what happened to her dad, or is just like her mom's like, look, listen.
I think Go ahead.
I think it's like a 50-50 is that she deep down knows what happened, but she doesn't want to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's along the lines of something is blocking her memory. If she remembers, because minds will do that. Like when I was a kid, I was on my bike and I fell into a rose bush. Like the brakes went out and I just tumbled into a rose bush. I don't remember ever doing this.
Yeah.
But I twisted midair into a sitting position, so I didn't get my face, but my arms and legs got really fucked up.
Damn,
I don't remember anything at all until pain. It was just like
right.
The moment of when I fell off the bike and ended up in the rosebush. I don't remember a damn thing.
Okay.
But so I think it's something similar. Like that was very traumatic for a 4-year-old. If the theories are correct.
Okay. What do the rest of you, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I honestly think it's going to be a mix of she doesn't believe her mother when she says it was. I also think that it's probably her mother who probably killed him because it's accident and we have someone wearing that kind of mask. So, but yeah, I think it's she probably. I believe her mother is lying to her and she knows it, but she doesn't want to admit it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys, Faz, what do you think?
She's in denial. It's like, how could my nice mother just do these things?
Yeah.
Or why would she tell me this? Just living in her own reality, like because we experienced before. She struggles to mix in with everybody.
That just made me realize something. It could be that she just doesn't want to believe her mother could do it because, as you know, kids at that age are usually more inclined to believe their parents on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits it on the nail.
True. There's a stone that kind of like that drops and Aaliyah's like, oh, is that like for a brother? And she's like, well, I don't have a brother. And it's like everyone, and I remember this being a big thing. It's like, well, you guys think maybe it's like a sister?
Probably.
Oh man, I've got a lot of things to say.
I think I'm putting a 70-30 odds on no.
Okay.
On
no having on no wait, on no having any siblings or a brother or a sister?
No one she doesn't have any siblings.
Okay.
So on the 70 or on the 30?
70, meaning no.
Okay.
It's like it could happen, but from the way that things are by this point, I don't think that she has any.
She just has a brother come through with a different Char mask.
No. Please.
Oh, I got a theory about how many Char clones are in this damn show.
He has a mask on his chin instead of on his head.
What's worse than one Char clone? 2 Char clones.
Damn.
Oh, but at this point, I see like 3 or 4.
I wouldn't
at least
be
one of them is not in this group of episodes.
I kind of, it's probably not going to be happen, but I kind of was maybe hoping that maybe like Gwell would be a sibling of Soletta somehow, but
I don't see how that would happen.
But overall, my guess is it's more of her mother going, "You don't have a brother," and she going, "I don't have a brother," sort of thing.
Yeah,
is what I'm guessing.
But we kind of know that Aaliyah is not necessarily really wrong. So it's interesting to see. But what happens is kind of like afterwards is Soletta gets a call from from Elan to go out with them, and she doesn't take it as a date. But when the girls have like that like kind of sleepover or slumber party, whatever, they all tell her, Soletta, it's a date. It's a date. And Nika's there as well, which is kind of interesting. So, but it's
she's always there. She's always there.
It's always there. So that's just kind of like a little cutesy scene there. And we get a little info that kind of a background of Elan, that he's called the Ice Prince because he doesn't show like any anger or smile or much. He's very robotic kind of thing. And just kind of what makes me further believe that he was at this time kind of more machine than man, too many like internal augmentations. So that's why I kind of feel like he's like the enhanced human. When they call him enhanced human, he's just like jacked up on parts on the inside. And that's kind of why I was getting that vibe.
So you think he's a cyborg?
Yeah, I was getting that feeling. I was getting that vibe.
Cyborgs aren't technically unique in them.
Yeah, it's certainly definitely something to expect, at least from like what Elon could be.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely is cybernetically enhanced with something that we don't see. That would allow him to do crazy stuff with his permit score.
Honestly, all of that just makes me worry about him, because if we know of anything, usually anyone who gets any kind of that shit through that kind of means usually goes crazy in some way or another.
Yeah, we've seen that many times in the Gundam series.
Oh man, I just thought of Iron. Yeah,
Iron. Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah.
Turned into a freaking kaiju, mecha kaiju.
Basically. Surely, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, or in Seed, where we have the counter coordinators.
Oh god.
Oh
yes.
I completely forgot.
Yes.
Those poor dudes. I feel sorry for them, despite them being very crazy.
Prospera, like shortly after Prospera talks to Soletta on the phone, and I found it interesting because this small little moment is very opposite of what we've been seeing with parents, where Prospera's on the phone and someone important looking just kind of enters her little office, and we can like ascertain he's important because it's not like he knocks or like he rings a doorbell. He just kind of enters the room, and instead of saying, "Hey, hold on, Soletta," like someone's here, she tells, like, she kind of shows the man like 1 second and gives like her full attention to Soletta. So I feel like it's like very opposite of what we've been seeing with kind of the parents so far, except for Prospera. So she gives her full attention, and I thought that was kind of interesting to see. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's just a scene, or do you think it has any importance to it?
If honestly, if it's her being important, it feels like it's for her being an important project.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what we've kind of discussed already, like, I mean, like at the time, because again, like weekly, you're not putting everything together right away.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, she does act like a mom sometimes. That's okay. And then it's just like, oh, hang on a sec. Like immediately right after she puts the mask back on, it's like Char all over again.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, wait a minute, you didn't actually give a shit, did you?
Yeah, it's like
that's exactly what I was thinking at the same time. It's like as soon as the mask went back on, I was like, oh yeah, she was just putting on it.
Yeah, it's like when like in Gundam Origins, when Char would act like an ally, but then he would just betray you. I never betrayed anyone.
Yeah, we have that whole. Have you guys actually seen that video where it's just Char saying, "I have never betrayed anyone in life," and it's just music going on as he betrays everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that, but I did feel that when I was watching the Origin. It was like, oh, like there's that moment of kind of. Yeah, well, I'll talk about that later, but back to
there's actually some importance to the scene, because the man tells Prosper that Peel is making a move, and it's like, how the hell would he know, right? And it's like we get the sense. Well, I got the sense that Prospera has got like massive connections, or has like similar like Game of Thrones, Littlefinger, where he's got like little birds everywhere, and he's got this whole spy network, and he's just like in the know all the time. So I thought that was really interesting, because it's like the only people that were there that know that, Peel's making a move on Ariel.
Maybe that's what that is. It's like a connection to her network.
Maybe it's something. But I thought that was like that information was said in very private quarters, very secretive. So it's very interesting that she would know that something's about to go down. And I just thought that was like her influence, or there's something a lot more going on with Prospera, and she's not just the last ranking, corporate power in that place. You know what I mean? So she definitely has some powerful allies.
Pull.
We go back to Peel and the advisors. They're talking with the enhanced human 4 about the Ariel, and we learn that the body augmentation control is the ideal form of the gun format. It's what was quoted anyways, what they said. What does that mean for you guys? Like, what does that mean to you?
The augmentation gun format?
Yeah, like the ideal form of the gun format is body augmentation control.
So like cyberpunk looking.
Right.
Yeah, again, I was watching the first episode and you talked about how cyberpunky looking a lot of these enhancements looked, and how most of them are internal.
Right.
And I say this with my mantis arm right here too. Yeah. But like it again, it's like not totally out of the blue for Gundam to have like body augmentations. Like the coordinators were all supposed to be physically stronger as well, which is why they're able to do those crazy things outside of the mobile suits.
Yeah.
The Alea Vanyana, I think, outside of the mobile suits gave better like spatial awareness. Because Mika did a lot of really like cool weird things outside of the mobile suit. And I know that was just him because he's jacked and stuff, but
yeah,
a lot of the other Alea Vanyana guys kind of acted similarly.
They're just maintaining their bodies because, like, they had to go through the surgery every once in a while, again and again, as their bodies change. So
and the other thing that I can kind of see coming from this is something very similar to, I don't know if any of you have ever played the Deus Ex games with Adam Jensen, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, where they had like the whole part. There was an arc where they had the corporation take over like all the cyber enhancements that people had, and they were like forcing people to do like, certain upgrades, and were being pigeonholed into like this product line that would certainly eventually doom them. And I think this is very similar, where they say like, the body enhancements are the true form of the gun format, where this could be a corporation trying to make a move on what was Gundam tech and actually trying to, force them into monopolizing the market in some way.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of Thanatos projects tech, and they want to try and push like for that military thing rather than the medical technology it's supposed to be.
I will say about this, making them more mechanized and whatnot, you gotta think there has to be something of an upkeep these people have to keep on themselves. That's what I'm guessing might be, but
yeah, doesn't Ellen go in for like checkups?
Yeah. This is kind of like where we're at right now, because what we see next is we see Elan saying that Soletta must be, and I quote, human created for the sole purpose of piloting a Gundam just like me. And then he glows. And I'm like, what the nani? But wait. There's more. Also, he also says, is her face borrowed from another two? Question mark. Now hold on. Hold the phone, okay? So we have two like really like weird kind of pieces, because there was a huge debate whether Elan was saying, well, I'm someone that kind of was a somebody before, and then I got my face swapped, and I'm playing a character because of the way that it's written, or was that I'm a human created for the sole purpose? So is he like a test tube baby? Is he a clone? You know, is the you know, the borrowed face from another a just kind of like a figure of speech? I want to know what you guys think for this. I want to know. Go fast. Let me go with you first. What do you think?
I kind of want to say that for that episode and the details that he just revealed, like it was this entire anvil dropped on us like that.
Yeah.
Just like, was I made specifically to like fight something or to be used for something? You know, kind of like that role. Like, am I?
Yeah.
What am I? Who am I?
Right.
What's my purpose? Kind of deal.
So do you think he was like created like a clone, or like a test tube baby, or was he an actual person who got who signed up and he got like mind wiped and his face got like plastic surgery or whatever? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
With the surgery portion and for that detail, I can obviously think they want to go towards augmentation, which also makes me want to believe that they have the capabilities.
Okay.
To like mind wipe somebody and just change them.
So you don't think he's like a clone? You think he's just a person who signed up for this kind of thing?
Yeah, I honestly think that, you know, he was signed up for this.
Okay. Moku, what do you think? Yeah, Moku, what do you think?
I think it's 50-50 that either Elon is like a test tube baby, that he was a clone that was raised for the sole purpose of this enhanced person project, where he's, you know, and then they like give him cybernetic enhancements as he gets older.
Yeah. And,
you know, able to actually withstand the surgeries and the tests and everything.
Yeah.
Or that he was a normal person that was put into this program and cybernetically enhanced and possibly also mentally changed in some way.
Right.
I think both are equally viable in this setting.
Okay. Mecha Wolf, what do you think?
He could have been someone that it could be metaphorical in the fact that she's not showing her true self. Like, he's hiding behind like a different face right now. But there is always the gross implication that I hope it's not, where they literally took someone's face and slapped it on him.
What do you think in this from what you just like kind of heard and saw on the show? Do you think at this point, is he like, what are your thoughts? Do you think he's a clone? You think he's a face swap, doppelganger, a test tube clone baby, a cyborg? What do you think from this revelation kind of thing?
I don't think he's a test tube baby, honestly, because we haven't seen that in a really, really, really long time from anything Gundam.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is he's thinking that she's like someone exactly like him, so that it's like he's searching for meaning in his life, and she might know the meaning. So he's like going to go against her because of that.
Okay. Kai, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
At this point in time, we have a whole lot of information about this. The face swapping made me think maybe he was genetically spliced to look like whoever Elon was.
Okay.
The cybernetic enhancement is obviously the good format, but like impure version from like the prologue, where it's still got a hell lot of problems, and it just causes pain rather than does what it's supposed to, which is supposed to heal. And he thinks Silhouette is like a carbon copy of himself, so it's like that, searching for someone that is like him. And he, at this point in time, he thinks Silhouette exactly like him, like
and it's
she's been enhanced with guns and all that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because she basically kind of like turns around and she's like, wait a minute, like, are you happy about this? And Elan doesn't like respond. He kind of misdirects and just says, well, you're the one asking me to look into her, right? So I think maybe this is like kind of something you were saying, that maybe this is like kind of like the first glimpse of like, oh, there's someone like me that I can kind of make a connection with. You know, there's someone like me out there. So I think maybe that's what it might be. I think at this moment, when he says that a human created for the sole purpose of piloting a Gundam, I think when he says that, he's either a clone or like a test tube baby, something like that. I think the face swap or the borrowed face from another, I think that's kind of just like a figure of speech where in order for him to be created, they needed the genes of somebody else. So I think that's what kind of they're referring to, instead of like him being a someone before who then decides, I'm going to sign up for this program and I'm going to erase who I am and change my face. That's just my opinion at that moment. But yeah, that's what I think for that. What else happens next? We see Felsi tell Ghoul that Elan is on a date with Soletta, and Ghoul's face, I'm not sure if you guys notice this, his face, because he's in the gym working out, but his face turns like super tense, super angular, very sharp, and he wants to know where they're going. And for somebody, like in the last episode, remember when he was giving the apology to Mjolnir, he called Soletta a Mercurian wench and a country bumpkin. So for me, this scene, like I maybe I'm missing something, but I'm confused at the reaction. I was like, why so serious, you know? So what do you guys like think? Like, what did you get from that? Like, I thought it was weird.
The main thought I got from that was he's thinking, this man is insane. He's probably going to kill her. I should probably do something or say something.
So you think he actually knows more about Elan than
I feel like he's at least met him before and got the impression of this man is not normal.
Okay.
Part of the thing I got from that is that honorable streak that we see in when he was apologizing to Mjolnir, like
okay, like building on that
honorable streak he had, okay. Building on that, and he just saw like he recognizes Soletta's like naive and gullible, and yeah, like what Mecha Wolf said, like he probably knew something or suspected at least something from that Elan was like picked up on his creepy vibes and was like, oh no, someone's actually in trouble from falling into this guy's trap. I gotta do something about it.
Yeah.
So he ran off to try and make sure that someone didn't fall into this dangerous guy's clutches or something like that.
Baz, what do you think?
I'm here just like deep in thought, just like damn, these guys are right. That kind of someone else was gonna say.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck.
Okay.
Get out of my cockpit.
Moku, you agree kind of what they're saying? What are your thoughts on it?
I think the way that I see it is that I think this was a moment where the mask accidentally slipped off and we see like the real side of him.
Okay.
And that he's not as nice or as gentlemanly as we actually think. I think that brief little flash was, I think, what he really is, and and obviously this could be like a precursor to something else.
Okay, interesting. Okay, it basically, like, for me, I thought it was just a little bit strange, and maybe I thought it was more about like, hey, wait, he's trying to make a connection with the holder, and I need to stop him. That's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't like think too much about it, but there obviously some sort of significance because like the way he reacts, and yeah, well, I guess we'll start finding out soon. It basically cuts to with Soletta and Elan. They're kind of like sitting. I guess it's like the hangar, and she seems. Oh my god, Soletta. She just seems so happy. You know, she's just like so wholesome. She's taking in the present, and she's got like no clue that like Elan's just basically kind of using her, you know, to find out more information about her and Ariel, and then just she's just happy because she thinks she's on a date, right? And she's just so wholesome. And Elan asks about Soletta, like talk about, you know, like how was your childhood, you know, with Ariel, and she says that, you know, or well, actually no, sorry, he asks like about Ariel, and Soletta talks about being with Ariel since she was a kid, and they had this connection, and it's really weird because Elan asks a really weird question that obviously she finds a little bit strange, but we don't, because he asks if she felt a lot of pain and suffering because of like obviously the permit score load, right? That you would normally get piloting a Gundam, or like the gun format. And when she says that she says no, basically, you see his face like he's shocked, right? He ignores her question about, because she asks, you know, when's your birthday, or what's your birthday, and he's like ignores it, deflects to like, hey, yo, let me pilot the Ariel, and she's like, okay.
Sus.
You know, like, okay, no problem.
She did not learn from episode 1.
Yeah,
not very smart.
So she's kind of still like in her own little world, and you know, so wholesome, and yeah, it's fine, you know. So we see Elan in the cockpit by himself. He goes to permit score 2, but something's different. The permit from the Ariel isn't responding, and he goes on like the curse has been lifted, right? Like there's like that no pain from the feedback of the data transfer, the data link. And what do you guys think this means for him or for Soletta? Like, what do you think this means, if anything?
I was thinking it's like a security measure because he mentions pain from the data link with Ariel. So maybe it's like a security
there's no
measure.
pain. There's no pain.
Yeah, there's no pain that he receives.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is Ariel like not like he overrides like security because he doesn't hack anything or anything. Is Ariel like accepting of pilots?
Okay. What do you guys think?
I think it has something to do with his cybernetics, and thinking that in his normal Gundam, he has to basically freaking jack in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and basically, it's kind of like, you know how the Epion system basically feeds you information on how things are supposed to go?
Yeah, the zero system.
Yeah, the zero.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Jinx.
I think it's basically it. Because
Wrong
the
mobile
human mind obviously is not used to outside stuff like that, so it's like fighting against it, because even when you have augmentations, it's always like, that's not supposed to be there. Get that out. Get that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of me.
I just thought that maybe Ariel was tuned to more work with the human mind rather than enhance it to the point to where the human mind can't comprehend it.
Okay.
And that's why Ariel moves so fluidly and human-like, is because it's working with Soletta, kind of like how Saikamu and the Psycho frameworks in Unicorn, it works with the human piloting it, not against it, or trying to
because like
give
it
it more
with the
juice.
emotions.
Yeah.
Than against the pilot.
Okay, then let's go back in history here, and going back to the prologue. When we first see Soletta as a kid, and she does her permit score thing, she's not, as far as we know, like cybernetically enhanced, and she's able to connect with Ariel, and she obviously felt no pain, and it was like really weird, and it was one of like it was basically Ilfrith at the time, and the dad and another lady was piloting the Ilfriths, and they were doing the permit scores, and they were taking damage, and they were feeling the brunt of it. Do you think it's the person, or is it the mech? Is it the Gundam that's the curse? Because it's really weird. It's really weird that Elan would be like he's cybernetically jacked up to the gills with the permit score, but he's not feeling any pain when he does permit in aerial. So I'm like just wondering, maybe like the curse is the actual person not being able to withstand either like the data flow, and you get pain from it. And so maybe it's something to do with that.
Like I said
It
before,
might be.
they're all called witches, correct? So it's the idea of these Gundams are the curses that they unleash upon the world.
Right.
And even in old stories, sometimes the curses don't work out for the witch, and they end up backfiring.
Okay.
So like the area using that is more like a spell rather than a curse. Like it's meant to benefit.
It's
rather
like attuned to her specifically.
Yeah, it might be actually.
It might be attuned to the human mind versus just jacking in and that's it, and getting the flow of information.
Yeah, because the Ilfrith.
Go ahead, Kai.
Yeah, because the Ilfrith and the other Gundams from the prologue, they were all trying to treat it as simply just like jack to a new machine, rather than thinking of it as an extension of your arm or like that. But when Eri Floeta piloted Ilfrith, she just more or less saw it just as another person, or as like a and when they actually started fighting and protecting themselves, it was definitely more like she was just fighting like her own arms or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
While we see with her dad and the others that they just see its weapons.
Yeah. Do you guys, so like after we see like this scene, Elan kind of has like a meltdown in the cockpit because he's so like upset that he's like, she's not like me. And she doesn't understand like his suffering and the connection. I think the connection for at that moment that he wanted with Suletta is like just gone. And when he's asked about his birthday again, he says that I never had one. And my thought is like, surely if you were just kind of like a face swap, surgical face swap, and you were somebody before, you probably could have said, could have mentioned something or said something about your birthday, even to make a fake one. But it's like he's got no concept of a birthday. So again, this is kind of leaning me forward to like, test tube baby, clone. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this moment. Just another like kind of small nudge in that direction for me anyways. I'm not sure if that meant anything to you guys, but
almost kind of like meant like a denial of humanity in a way, because it's just like he's cold.
He's cold, yeah. Okay. True, yeah, that's possible.
Because like wasn't his nickname the Ice Prince, or was that the other guy?
Yeah, Elan's the Ice Prince.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just discards, humanity in form of just getting better.
And it's interesting because Elan is basically like the opposite of Suletta, like in every way, right? Cold, ice, feels pain, doing the permit score, and it's just like the total opposite, like the mirror image.
Yeah, he just wants to get better, a better machine versus a better human.
This actually brings me back to, this is going to be a weird comparison, but there's a Fate character who has a similar interaction with, because this man is quite literally a sociopath and he knows it, but he's like, this is bad. I know this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy is like me. He can tell me what I can do. He can actually help me understand myself. Right. And when he learns that this is not it, that this
which
guy...
Fate character?
It was Kire Kotomine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from
Yeah, when he was talking about
I forget his
Yeah.
name.
Kiritsugu. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
He
very
was so
much
disappointed to hear that Kiritsugu did not think like him at all.
yeah, because whenever you find someone like you like that, because it's kind of obvious he hasn't been around anyone like him. He could just be also a sociopath, but he thinks this girl is obviously like me. That means that she can also understand that she might give me my answer.
Yeah, exactly.
finding the answer within someone else about your cause that you should know, but you don't know.
And the
One of the
sad
best things about Fate Zero.
it gets really sad because poor Soletta, not really knowing what's going on. She's like really sad at his word, basically. He was really rude to her and really mean. And then Guel appears and he sees Soletta sad, and like his expression changes again to that like that fierceness, like what did you do? Like, what did you do to my Soletta? You know what I mean? Like the protector mode is kind of weird. And he's just like, Elan, what the hell did you do, basically? And I feel like it was just like a really a drastic change. For me, it felt drastic because like just an episode ago he was like, you're a witch, you're a wench, and so I'm having, I guess, like an internal conflict of like why he's so protective. But
I told her when that was him trying to say, like, he didn't want to admit openly that she made him feel like, well, there is somebody better than me. There is actually someone who's actually good.
Yeah.
And someone, I don't remember who, was talking on Twitter when I made that connection, that when he asked her to marry him, it was more like a, will you be my friend? It wasn't meant to be as a marriage proposal, and that's what he meant by that. But he had to play the cool jock in front of all these people, so he's like, wench, I don't like you.
Oh, you're
Baka.
saying he's yeah.
Baka?
Yes. He went full tsundere mode there. It was like, the only thing that was missing was the Baka.
So at this point, basically, Elan challenges Guel to a duel, and if basically Elan wins, he wants a chance to duel Soletta, and if Guel wins, it's basically again, very interesting. It's like if he wins, it's like you're never gonna speak to Soletta ever again. Don't even come near her. And I feel like it's not so much maybe a defense, like, oh, like I'm really in it for Soletta, but I think it's more of a feeling like he knows more than us in terms of what Elan is, and that he's like like a psychopath, like he's actually dangerous, and that maybe he's just being a decent person in like he's an asshole, right? Like Guel's an asshole,
Yeah.
but like not like he wouldn't turn his back on someone basically being murdered or whatever, right? So that's kind of like what I was getting from that.
Yeah, I think it's up made him think like kind of Knight.
Yeah. So I saw that, we Ghoul takes his brother's Delanza. And what did you guys think?
The second coolest Delanza.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the first of all, before we get into the actual fight thingy? What did you think of his Ghoul's piloting skill in this episode versus like the other ones we've seen?
A lot better, because he was fighting with his own skill rather than some artificial enhancement. How about that? From like his father telling him, "Oh, you're the best. You're a Turk." Blah 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 blah. And so now in this,
he was going his own way. He was going his own way.
This mobile suit, which is actually very bare bones compared to the last one he had, was he actually held his own, but it sucks because the one was a melee only mobile suit
Right.
against a long range sniper suit. Doesn't work out that way, does it?
Not so much, no.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like the battling skills seem to be more like an honor system versus just, combat. Actual war
Yeah.
stuff,
Did you
Sorry.
did you guys feel like this is like actually Guel's skill? Like this is like he's actually like really freaking good.
He's actually really good.
Mm-hmm. He excels in that area. Like, he knows the limitations.
Do you guys think
Versus
if he had I'm gonna ask Moku here, do you think if he had the Darabalde that he could have won?
I'm gonna be right
No.
back.
I don't think he actually would have. I don't think he would have won that duel if he had the Darabalde in this case, because I think the Darabalde was holding him back because of the autopilot system that was in it.
Get rid of that.
So
Just, what if that wasn't in it? What if it was just his piloting skills with the Darabalde?
If he had the Darabalde without the autopilot, yeah he would have won.
Yeah. Do you guys all feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely. The autopilot is just a handicap for beginner pilots. Ghost skill is just more than just an autopilot. It's just skill at that point.
And you think he would have won over the Ferract?
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Yep.
He would have been able to either keep up with the Ferract or actually beat it.
Wolf?
Oh, I think he had to go do something.
Yeah, I think he had to excuse himself for a moment.
Oh, Kai? Are they both gone?
Sorry. I have my mic on mute
geez.
because I was talking someone to the side and
Okay.
didn't realize that I didn't have turned it back on. Oh my
Okay,
God.
yeah. Wolf, what did you think?
Yeah,
What do you
but
think?
I think he honestly probably will have won because he seems like he's very adept with melee weapons, and if he got real and close, especially with a sniper unit, it's really game over. Which kind of makes me think of Wing a little with the frickin' Tolgeese and the Epion, but
Yeah. Here's why I think he would have lost. I think he would have lost because Elan has the permit score system where he can control those bits. And in the Darabalde, the AI was controlling when the hands were separating and flying in the air and stuff like that. I feel like that was drone technology done by the AI. So I feel if Ghoul was fighting on his own, he wouldn't have that to his advantage, and therefore I still think he would have lost. But it would have been a lot closer. And the fact that there was we see that Elan noticed the metal that was, I can't remember what it was called, but that it was reacting to the electricity, and it was being attached to the mobile suit. That he spotted that and took note of that, where Guel was kind of more like hot-headed, and he was kind of so focused on the battle between him and Elan more so than the surroundings, kind of like gives Elan the edge for me as well. But it would have been a lot closer, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot closer and probably still resulted in a loss for Gil. Just because melee focus versus bits.
Yeah.
Bits are always hard to beat in general.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you guys. Shoot. I always do this. For the previous episode, Baz, what are you scoring it out of 10 tomatoes?
Oh, yeah.
10 tomatoes.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the episode with kind of like the racism theme and the training and the demi trainer and stuff. The choo-choo punch.
Probably gonna put 7.
7. Kai?
For that one, I'm gonna have to say 8. I'm gonna have to say 8.
Okay.
I would have liked more scenes where it was at the school setting with the demi trainer to see Silhouette's actual skill as a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wolf?
It was overall pretty good with the theories, but I don't know. I'm never good at scoring things, so
Just whatever.
I'll just say a 7 because I feel like we could have had a bit more of that.
Okay. Moku?
High school setting.
I'm giving that one 7 tomatoes and one errant gas shell.
Okay. Nice.
I love it. I love Bunker already.
Okay. I actually really liked the episode in terms of world building and what's going on. And the Choo Choo Punch was just like so iconic for me. I give it a 9. You know, I really liked that episode.
Most definitely. Choo Choo Punch is iconic.
What do you guys? What do you and so what this episode kind of ends with Prospera running into an old friend. For this episode, what do you guys give this episode score out of 10 Tanukis? Moku, go ahead first.
I will definitely give it I think I would probably give this one maybe about a 6 Tanukis.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Oh, damn,
this one didn't hit as good as the last one, just because that the last one packed so much storytelling into one episode.
Fair. Faz.
I would probably give it around a 6.5 just because, like, the previous episode, what really did overshadow the next one, like, because, the punch, the storytelling, the world building.
Wolf?
I honestly have to give this a 7, mostly because we're getting some interesting character from the local Ice Prince, and we see some interesting parts of him that we didn't originally know, so.
Okay. Kai?
I'm gonna have to agree with I really 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Mostly just because of that little look into Ilan, and like someone else uses gun. That was kind of a bombshell to me. I was like, this technology did not disappear. It's being used for the reasons that the creator didn't want it to be.
Okay. I'm gonna give this episode. I'm gonna give it a 5 Tanukis. I thought the pacing was a little bit weird. I think Guel's character changed way too fast for me. Soletta is just weird in this episode. She's not stupid. She's just so kind of like Forrest Gump in this episode, where it's just she's just in her own world and just taking everything as face value and just no social cues. I don't know. It's just weird from what we've kind of seen before. So I'm giving it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Lieutenant, dang, you ain't got no legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a criticism I've definitely seen of From Mercury. The pacing is weird.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into episode 6. And episode 6 is probably one of the most interesting episodes, because it starts off with Prospera and her old friend, which her old friend, her name's Belle. And it's interesting because they have a little dialogue, and Belle states that she kind of had no choice to work for Peel Tech, carrying on the Vandus legacy. So obviously there's that treaty that's been broken. You're not supposed to be working with that, that gun format stuff, because it got banned a while ago. And Prospera kind of ignores Belle's questions about Ariel and how she's, there's no way that she could be working alone, and kind of deflects simply. She basically deflects she's like, wow, you're really talkative. You're more talkative than I remember. So kind of a abrupt redirection, and it kind of stuns her. And Belle's like, wait, this says something important here, because she says it's no use taking revenge for a 21-year-old, and then it's just what the nani. What do you guys think of that? What
was
is
definitely
what
a
is this
me the fuck
21-year-old this revenge that she's had for 20? Like, what is this? What do you guys? What are your thoughts? Because this is nuts.
It was definitely a lot
Oh.
to take in for the episode.
Oh yeah, that was a lot. My mind immediately started. The gears in my head just started grinding with theories. It was just like, huh? And then immediately after that, Ari. I was like, oh, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Honestly, though, anyone with a Char mask is usually on a quest for revenge for something.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of expected something like this, but I really don't know.
But what do you guys think about the 20-year-old, the 21 years of revenge? Like, revenge for what? Like, do you guys think they're referring to the prologue?
It definitely could be referencing the prologue. It's like that deep hatred that doesn't, like show out because, like, you gotta keep like a facade up somehow.
Moku?
Because Ariel is just an absolute beast of a mech.
I don't think it was referencing the prologue. I think there's something else in play here because the timeline doesn't add up here, and that means that there's something else that might have happened. It could be either like an accident that happened on the Mercury colony at what was it? Pell Technologies probably had something going on. Maybe it was like something from very early on in the Gundam project. Could be.
Okay.
Just 21 years is such a long period of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense with the prologue. I just think about it. Yeah.
I question it to be the prologue, but the timeline makes no sense because, just from like kind of like outside the anime and more into like production of an anime, especially when they put so much money toward the prologue, right, and making it very important. And Prospera's husband dying, her friends dying, just her mentor, like, we're assuming, like, we didn't actually see her die, but we heard the gunshot, is dead. So it's just like, what possible other revenge could she be talking about? That would be more substantial than what happened in the prologue. And if it's not that substantial, why make a whole episode about it and then kind of have a dialogue to the viewers about a revenge? And I tried doing the math. Maybe it's like a Mercury, like a different in terms of like Earth years to Mercury years, because we already know Soletta was 4 years old at the time, and that would, if it happened 21 years ago, she'd be 25, so she wouldn't be in this school. Then there's the whole thing. Well, if it's in Mercury years, 21 years ago, well, that doesn't make sense because in Mercury, 1 Earth year in Mercury is 1 Mercury year is 88 Earth days. So then if you do the math on that, 21 years, it's with the 88 days, it's basically comes out to five Earth years. So it's not making like a whole lot of sense for me. So it could be something else that happened before the situation, because we know for a fact that Soletta's 17. So the prologue happened, what was it, like she's 17 now, like 13 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So it's confusing. So there's a lot of things that this kind of pops up where, like, there's no way that Eri can be Soletta if this 21-year-old thing is correct, or the timeline is, because we're not given a date. We're not given an actual date on when the prologue happens, right? So sometimes in the Gundam series we see, like, this is Universal Century so and so, year 83, and then we see, like, we jumps forward to Unicorn or whatever, and it's Universal Century 92. So this actually raises a lot of questions for me when I was thinking about it, and I think there's something fishy going on with Soletta and Ariel, and I still don't believe that it could be anything else, this revenge other than the prologue, than the events that happened in the prologue. I can't. I refuse.
So
I was thinking the same thing. My theory is actually could still work here. It doesn't pertain to anything else after this. That Prospera could have been lying to Sluetta about how old she actually is, and she's just been kept in this sort of little kid teenager state for a long time, which is really disturbing, but it's also very it's unfortunately not unheard of.
Okay.
it could kind of add up because like with someone like they reference her as like a farm girl of some sort.
I just feel like with that, I mean, I like if it was indeed 21 years ago, it would put Suletta at 20
at a more mature age, but
like a lot older. Like it should be 25, and I don't know. I think 25 looks quite different from like 17.
Yeah, when I came up with the theory, it was like it could be a possibility, but
it is still. I think it still is a possibility.
Yeah, no.
I think it still is because there's people who look very young and that are full blown adults, so it's possible. But that was
my theories was like considering like the 21 years of revenge. Was it explained during the prologue why the conflict happened?
Yeah, it was basically the Gund format was killing the pilots inside, and Delling is basically like, no, pilots should be killed by other pilots manning mobile suits, not the mobile suits killing them.
So the kind of wonder like what was like with the timeline, like what was like the 8 years that started it? Like what started like this revenge for some reason, minus the the gun bits.
Well, the revenge would be because Prospera's husband got killed, her mentor got killed, and all her friends died in the project on that. When Delling basically pulled the plug on the, it was basically a huge assassination attempt, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me think with like the 21 years.
Yeah. So like that's again, that number is confusing me, right? So.
It could just be like a manipulation check. So I was like, "You sure you got your numbers right there, buddy?" It's the kind of deal, for them.
Yeah, I was also thinking like that incident probably started before the prologue, and the prologue was just the end part of that conflict.
Okay.
I think a theory I just came up with was like 4 years of production and then 4 years of building it, and then like once the little was 4, that's when everything went down.
Yeah, and then. And like 13 years afterward, we're still getting it, but they remember the incident as having started 21 years ago.
So what would be the incident then?
That's just the production of the Gundam itself, because of how dangerous Gund was.
Okay.
Gundam 2018 BC. Have you seen District by Super Blind Dolan? And did you see what I posted on Discord?
Sorry, what's going on?
Gundam 2018 in the chat.
Oh.
Let's see. Where'd you post it?
I don't see it.
Is it in the G Wish from Mercury?
No. So like moving on, like after like that little thing, Prospera deflects again, and she says she asks Bell, the Gundam pilot, how many were there? How many have there been? So what do you guys think about that? Because Belle looks absolutely like shocked after she mentions that kind of, she knows, Prospera basically knows that they've been using kind of like Elan people to pilot the Gundams. And the fact that she has a Gundam, that Prospera actually knows this. A super secret like information. So I thought that was like crazy. How would she know? But I thought that was like, again, just showing how actual powerful and well, maybe not powerful, but there's something definitely
resourceful.
Yeah, resourceful. That's exactly. So I thought that was absolutely insane. Yeah.
Vengeance makes you very motivated to do some very crazy
Oh,
things.
for sure.
So I don't doubt her. Yeah, I don't doubt it that she somehow managed to get not necessarily a network of spies, but like hacked into at least like their top secret stuff. Like she was a mobile suit pilot and a programmer and an engineer.
Yeah.
Engineer and programmer. She's
got like 25 PhDs.
Basically. And she's the head of a company, so she's got some sway.
Yeah. The other like interesting tidbit that gets kind of like ignored is like right after this, Prospera gets like a phone call where she's talking on the phone, and she talks to the person. It's almost like she's reporting to them. She's like, it's like as we expected. We smoked her out, and I'm not worried. I'm pretty sure. She's like, I'm not worried. The Ariel's gonna win. That's like what I'm saying. It feels like there's actually maybe someone above Prospera, and like that kind of moment, she felt like she was reporting to someone. And I also thought this also shows how much forethought and planning this is. It's like everything is going as we expected, right? This is all part of the plan, and I thought that was kind of crazy. So, do you guys think that she's like the top mastermind, or is this she's reporting to someone that's kind of like, on she's working with, partnering with, or is there someone above her? What do you guys think?
Kind of felt more like to me.
More like reporting, saying that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, considering there wasn't anything prepared for Soletta, because Soletta had to look for a house, beforehand. So it's like Prospera's got to be reporting to somebody, considering like how discreet they're going.
Okay.
I also want to bring up the usual thing of the person with the Char mask is usually always working with someone until they're not.
That's actually a really good point.
Very true.
That's actually a really good point.
Waiting for that.
Mocha, what do you think?
Oh, I most definitely think Prospera is working with someone, and there will be loose ends dealt with when that person is no longer useful.
Oh, very.
Whether it be the classic like hang up the phone and you hear an explosion nearby or something else.
Yeah. Kai?
You can blame your family for this. Jesus. That was probably the most super villainy Char's ever been, was when he got Karma killed.
Yeah.
Oh
Scummy.
my god.
Scummy.
Oh.
So like the next kind of scene is basically we see Alia again. She's doing more of her voodoo magic, fortune telling. Rika's also there. And the interesting thing about this kind of like scene is that Miorne, I feel in this scene, is channeling her father's control over Soletta because of just like how she responds kind of to Soletta's like, you can't just go out dueling anyone. Like you need to consult me. And I feel like that's kind of like that her father, like her channeling her father, like the control. I don't know. What do you guys think? Disagree? Agree?
I think I agree with that.
Yeah,
I can agree with it, but I also think it comes from the fact that Miorne and Soletta just don't ever talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. They're also not on the same wavelength, at all.
Like there was nothing like at this point, or at least at the beginning of the series, Miorne only saw Soletta as someone she could use to get out of this stupid marriage duel thing that her father came up with. And I think it's around this point where she lets her into her room, into her, her dirty secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And
the trash room, her trashy.
So she's actually trying to support her in ways that she knows she can. And so when Soletta doesn't reciprocate, it becomes like, well, Why are you not talking to me about these things?
I thought it was harsh because she then said, I won't forgive you if you lose. And I thought that was kind of really channeling the parents, right? Because what have we seen,
That
right?
one, yeah.
We've seen Vim Turk, like his son losing, you're cut. Mjolnir not obeying her father, you're cut. Just very, very channeling the parent thing here. I thought that was interesting. But and speaking of parents, the next scene is basically getting kicked out, after the triple L's streak. The triple L's. He's like, you're done. You're done. And he's getting kicked out. His harem is basically staying there, leaving him behind. But it's the one thing I'll give him credit for is he takes it like a champ. He's like, all right, fine. Grabs his shit, turns to his brother. He's like, all right, you're in charge now. Later, right? He just, no complaining, no like crying. He just takes it and walks away. So I thought that was like super, super interesting.
Yeah.
Good. It shows his character, right? His character, the Giga Chat character. So
yeah.
Then we get to the dueling stakes, and basically Elan saying if he wins, he wants to take Ariel. And after this, we go to the Earthian house, and we see like more bonding, and we also get a sense because they complain about money, and I was like, damn. It shows like the really difference of the economic situation, reflecting almost the way it is on Earth, right? And I was interested, and I'm like, there's a real reason why you all broke, and it's because, let me see if I can pop this up. It's because of these two. Let's see here. It's because of these two.
Yeah.
They're always damn gambling.
Yeah, they keep gambling.
A Gunpla, bad Gunpla. They're always gambling money away. So I think it's part of the issue.
Stop gambling.
So I thought that was kind of part of why they're broke.
Think about what. Stop. Damn it.
But they're not. It's almost seemed like they're not really funded, right? Like we just saw like Gwell getting kicked out. Did you see how nice? Like it had like marble floors and like I'm like, what the hell is this? Is like the Hiltons or something like that, something fancy. And I was just like, there's a big deviation between the funding of kind of where the houses are. So I thought that was the conflict from Earth, even showing up here in space with them. That was fun.
Yeah, because they live on they're on a farm basically, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they have goats and they have chickens and yeah. Shortly after that, we see some like imagery basically of Elan. He's using his permit score, or it's like irradiating from his body, and we see like a small shaped candle, like he's dreaming or something like that. I felt that was like a little disturbing, like what the hell is this? But you know what's even more disturbing? The real Elan pops in. And is like, bro, you're my don't you know that you're my surrogate? Don't you know that you are my surrogate? Now, for those who don't know, I had to look up like surrogacy, right? And the definition for like the surrogacy is the product has the traits of only one parent. Uno parent. And this right here kind of convinced me that Elan is a clone and not some sort of face swap. But however, right after that, and I'll get your thoughts after this. Right after that, that Elan says, if you do this, if you get Ariel, you'll get your face back we will get your face back and also arrange citizen ID numbers. What are your guys' thoughts on the situation here?
Genetic
let
splicing.
me hold on. Let me start with Moku. Moku, talk to me. What's going on?
This one kind of I'm actually not sure what to really say about this one because I still need time to kind of like really stew on this one because at one point it actually confirmed that Elon's a test tube baby and a clone.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's more than one of him, but then they immediately turn it around and say, "Oh, wait a minute, we'll give you your face back and give you citizen ID." So then,
Moku, do you think
it's inconsistent?
Moku, do you think that maybe that's just kind of like a way of saying, or it's translated in a way that, hey, like, if you do this for us, you don't need to be part of like this experiment anymore. We can give you a whole new ID. You don't have to be Elan. We'll give you a different face and we'll give you ID so you can be your own person. Like, do you think maybe it's that? Like, it's just kind of like a weird translation? Is that a possibility, you think?
It's certainly a possibility that it's something lost in translation.
Okay.
But at the same time, that I'm going with Occam's razor that it's an inconsistent writing moment.
Okay.
And it could be that they weren't paying attention to the weight of what they're truly saying in this scene here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go rest real quick.
Faz, let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, so, like going back from the episodes, like where we had the theories of, like the cybernetics, like going with the face swap. So this episode does confirm, like, damn, they really did have this technology to do this.
Yeah.
So it's like a way to like get someone to have similar traits, similar actions to someone to serve whatever purposes that they need without getting their hands dirty.
So do you think like he was a clone, or?
I think he was a surrogate face swap in a way.
Okay.
Like, oh, he's got the same, height, he's got the same body build. We just gotta swap his face out, and there we go.
It's like that movie, Face Off.
Yeah, yep, literally.
For those who are old enough to actually have seen it or know that movie, it's a good movie.
Or like that one JoJo's standing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in part 4 or 5.
Okay.
With Yoshikage Kira, where it's just like, yeah, let me just take your face and let me just act like this guy.
Yeah. Kai, what are your thoughts?
What was that? What movie?
I'll still be listening.
No, I'm just asking about like what do you think with the two? Oh wait, you're asking me about the movie?
Oh, yeah, what movie?
Face Off.
With Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
No, I haven't seen it.
Classic.
Interesting.
It is the single most 90s thing you will ever watch.
Yes, it is. But Kai, so what do you think of this?
Yeah. Well, my first thought was like genetic swap, genetic splicing to explain like the face swap, and just basically confirming that the real Ellen is much more scummier than the actual and the one we were reduced to.
So you think it was like genetics to create like the face, and then actually take the face and swap it with a person who's already like someone else?
Kind of. Yeah.
And mind wipe?
Kind of. And then Boku made me think that with like the loss in translation, like it also has like the hallmarks of using terms and to mean things you don't actually know, like say like surrogate. Like the first thing one would think of is like a replacement for something, which is not entirely what it means. What it doesn't mean, like a surrogate mother or surrogate father.
Yeah,
I think that's what they were meaning, that it was his replacement to go to school in his place, and so that he doesn't pilot this highly dangerous mobile suit. Which I don't blame at that point, but I don't But it also just means that he's using, money, power, and status to just engineer his own body level so that he doesn't have to go to school.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, I took away from that. Oh my god, this son of a bitch. But it's like, now I'm also thinking like, oh, maybe this was actually practical so that he doesn't die.
Okay. Wolf?
My thoughts are more of what the fuck, because this tells me that they might have done this kind of thing before.
Yes.
It might be normal for them.
Yes.
Because they seem to have a system set up where if they perform well enough, they can just, leave.
Yeah. It's not the first rodeo.
Yeah. It's really gross, and also I'm kind of leaning to the clone thing now, but it still more seems like they grabbed someone and made him look like him, but that also raises the question of how did they pick him?
And they looks like they mind wiped him too, right?
Yeah, maybe they just mind wiped him and gave him the right body and filled his head full of knowledge. That could be possible.
I still think he's a clone. I think he's straight a clone, and that as a clone, he starts to develop that maybe he wants his own identity, and kind of that's why I think getting his own face is kind of. I think it's a getting your face back to you. I feel like it's a mistranslation to getting your own getting your own face maybe, and then getting your own ID. Because when they
glossed over me.
Because when they say also arrange a citizen ID number, well, if you're getting your old face back in your old, the way that you were, you would already have a citizen's ID. So why would they arrange a new one for you? So this is why I think there's like a inconsistency, and more so I believe that Elan is actually a clone. But I really do enjoy the debate on it.
Another situation with like Dragon Ball mistranslates the instant transmission as traveling at the speed of light when it's just instant rather.
Yeah.
I will say this does also raise questions of what he thought she was. What he thought of.
Yes.
Please give us more.
The other thing too is what we see next is that basically the Ariel needs a flight pack, and Rika's there, and it's very interesting because the things that they have to worry about is that they have they're poor, right? They got nothing, and Soletta's still upset about what happened previously with Elan. And she's kind of down on herself, but she quickly snaps out of it. When Mjorn is look, you gotta forget about it. You have to move forward and gain 2. And almost instantly, she snaps out of it, and she's all right. She becomes super confident. And it was really, I thought that was kind of really interesting. And she snaps out of it, and they have to make a flight pack for her out of this. Can you believe that? What do we have here? It looks like some sort of engine, some Gatling guns, and missiles. Mm-hmm. And we'll come back to this later because we're gonna see what. I feel like this is the true magic of it all, but we'll get back to the actual flight pack. But true wizardry and sorcery to make a flight pack out of these things. But we go to
this
Soletta.
Goes beyond MacGyver.
Yeah, beyond MacGyver. It's MacGyver beyond. MacGyver beyond.
They made a thruster pack out of a gun cannon arm.
Yep.
The Gatlings of what looks like the heavy arms and something else I can't identify.
Here.
Hang on. Where are you posting these pictures?
On the live feed.
Oh,
Twitch. So this is actually what
my computer lags out like shit.
No, that's okay.
Do that.
The jetpack actually looks like this, and I'm like, there's no way. That's sorcery. That is sorcery. That's the true mystery of the show.
How the fuck?
Well, I mean, it is called the Witch from Mercury. So.
I mean, here's the thing. I
I
like
will stab
Bunker
you.
Gundam. I love the Easy 8, but this is not junk.
No. Anyways, but after kind of like she gains the confidence, she decides to try and talk to Elan. Goes to like the Peel house and is like, yo, I need to talk to him. And she then goes on the PA system while Elan is kind of like sleeping in his bunk, which like his room is like nothing but a bed and a desk. Like there's nothing else. You know what I mean? Again, like really weird, like almost like in a cell or something. It's just really strange.
Or a test
Living
chamber.
conditions would be weird.
Or a test chamber.
Or a test chamber. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, just it's very strange. So in order to get his attention, what do we hear? Anybody?
Curse song. That's the true curse of this series.
What do we hear?
Oh no.
Who wants to sing it? Who wants to sing it? Come on, all together, ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So basically, she starts singing that in the PA system, and that's like epic foreshadow.
I would say if I heard that over the PA while I was sleeping, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
This is like some Dead Space shit. Hearing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in the elevator,
and
just like no, you're not making me sing.
No.
Okay, fine, I'll sing it.
Yeah. So Elan,
we're not talking about that right now because I'm also going through Dead Space. And yeah.
So like Elan basically
bring up bad memories.
Yeah, Elan gets up from his bed, calls Solana, is like, "Hey, bro, cut that shit out." Cut that shit out.
Please no.
Yeah. So
we got school tomorrow.
So now we kind of like move to closer to the fight, and what's really interesting is that where am I going with this? Yeah, Ghoul's brother is now the leader of the Jaturk household. But I'm not sure if you guys got this small detail. His name is Lotta Neal. So if you notice, his last name is not Jaturk, it's Neal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, is he actually like maybe he's like a half brother or something? Like, why would he not have the Jaturk last name?
I didn't catch that.
Interesting. Bum.
It went over my head.
You guys didn't catch that? I was like, man, he must be a half brother or something, or just like.
Is he another clone?
Part of the house.
How many clones are we getting here? We're getting more
all
clones
the
than Zeta.
clones.
It's the Spider-Man clone saga. Here we go again.
Half the school, all clones.
Clones. We're just going full double Zeta over here.
Yeah, your teacher
Which From Mercury episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
I said it. There you go.
Attack of the Clones. Yeah, your teacher, that's a clone 4.2. Yep.
No, now I want to see like 3 Soletas or 3 Yules just pointing at each other.
You might.
Like the Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man imposter meme.
Oh
God.
Yeah. So that was kind of one interesting thing that I spotted. We go back to a very wholesome moment with Soleta that everyone kind of like really, loves about her, is that all she wants to do if she wins is she wants to know more about Elan. Isn't that just so adorable, guys? Just she wins, she could have anything. She could have anything she wants.
I would have
given up at this point. For crying out loud. Where's her mom? Where's her mom with the speed? Hey, look, daughter. Look, if you could you please maybe if you win this, can you ask for the Farak? You know what I mean? It's just like, nah. Soleta's just so wholesome. She's like, if I win, I just want to know more about you. I thought that was adorable.
I know you pull out a Morty on that.
you gotta do something more with this. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that this is kind of, again. Never mind. Yeah. Anyways,
At least she's not Kira.
thank God for that. At least, thank God for that.
Listen, if she
she's
hadn't-
not Kira yet. Okay, she's not Kira yet.
There.
I will say I was extremely worried when they first gave her bits at the very start.
Yeah,
That was
OP.
my biggest worry.
Speaking of bits, we start getting into the battle, and another quote that kind of like really popped into my head with the whole thing is Elan says, "I'm a disposable pawn created for Gundam's sake," and I'm like, "Nani?" Like this kind of like I pick up on these small things. I'm like, my dude, he's a clone, man. Come on, man, he's a clone.
The one thing I'm going against the clone thing is because I feel like it takes a long time to make a clone of a human being.
Yeah,
Well,
they
we don't
can't
know
all be
that.
Star Wars clones,
We don't
they're
know
just
that, man.
Made in like 5 years.
Look, they made Dolly the sheep like in a year. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
Oh, jeez.
Y'all know who Dolly the sheep is, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
the first
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. And this is like way in the future with like, you know, people flying mobile suits like it's nothing. We got teenagers. We got teenagers working on Gundams. Okay, look, anything's possible.
I just think of MGA saying, "Wake up, sheeple."
Wait. I'm just thinking of that one meme that became a thing. It was just like, what did you do at 23? This guy made a statue.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw that around like a couple days ago.
It was just like a whole bunch of art of like people's like, I made this at 23 of like an animation I made. I was like, at 23 I was security. I don't know.
we start finally seeing the battle of OP bits, right? This is when like all the bits come flying around. So you know, this is when things get a bit interesting with dialogue, right? Soletta yells, "Everyone!" And when she says that, all her bits respond to her and protect her from that one bit that the ferric bits are attacking. Like all of Elan's bits are surrounding this one little bit, and then she yells, and then like all the little bits like go and rescue that one bit. I thought that was very interesting, the way that she says it.
Yeah.
Then we cut to my boy, my boy Guel, who's watching on an iPad, drinking some coffee on a damn campground. The lulz. How far has the mighty fallen? You know, it's like the reverse of the Drake sign, you know? I'm at the top and now I made it to the bottom, you know? But that's reversed, right? So yeah.
I was more gonna say Daddy took the keys to the Lamborghini and might as well just live in the woods.
Yep, basically. So it's just he got humbled, right? He got humbled pretty fast. But the interesting thing, he's not complaining. He's like studying. He's like studying what's going on. So again, we're seeing his focus is pretty ironclad when it comes to things. Because honestly, if I got my keys taken away from my Lamborghini, I'd be crying, I'd be sulking. But my man is focused on the plan. He wants to get better. He wants to be a good pilot. And I think this is kind of further proof of it. He's having a coffee and studying the fight. And then again, Soletta actually asks for everyone's help. She kind of yells, and at this moment, Elan, he goes Super Saiyan 4. I mean, he goes Permit Score 4, and he gets that jolt of information, and he yells Belmaria Winston name. So I'm assuming that the girl that we saw before, Belle, her full name is Belmaria Winston, which is interesting. And then we get to something that we haven't seen since the prologue. You guys know what that is?
Isn't that him just in
refresher?
just
It's the Ariel activates the anti-Gund format burst field.
Oh yeah, the antidote.
I was about
Oh,
to say
yeah.
the anti-gun format weapon.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
antidote. And Elan's bits basically go limp, you know? They go limp. And
well, like when the NTD activates. Back
Yeah.
in-
Yeah,
Yeah.
when DD activates the psycho field, Unicorn is just able to control whatever has any kind of psycho frame in it.
yeah.
It's very annoying finding that thing as the new Gundam.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I can't imagine. I was in a what was I? The Vargil, and I couldn't activate my my funnels. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
damn it!
We when the antidote hits Elan, we see something very interesting. Elan sees the silhouette of a child kind of floating in space. That's like all sparkly and white and stuff, and it's kind of it's interesting, and then it gets kind of creepy because like we hear the laughter, but then we hear multiple laughter, and we see 13 children circling around the Ferract, and the silhouettes change from being a child to the bits. Now, what y'all think about that?
Extremely creepy.
Very creepy. Very creepy. There's nothing more scary than just children giggling out in the
I will
middle of the
admit,
dark.
I do think the Ariel having bits this at the very start feels a bit overpowered unless they're fighting like fellow bit users. But this makes me think that we're dealing with some like Full Metal Alchemist stuff, and I really hope we're not.
Big sister Suletta.
Now, if we rewind slightly to the witchery voodoo of Alia, she said, "Do you have you have a brother or a sister or something like that?" Well, guess what? She got 13 of those. She got 13 sisters. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, it's obviously this is very strange. It's little children.
I've heard people like literally talking to the Gundams. Like, it's even for me with my mech, it's very normal to talk to it, but to actually have them be alive, like not just the mech, but the little bits.
Yeah, they were like singing "Ring Around the Rosie" basically, and you know,
causing murder. And death.
No.
Hell no. No.
do you think?
And it's not totally uncommon for guns to just swallow the souls of their pilots, but
I mean, it happens sometimes.
But do you guys think do you guys
You would know.
what is this? Like, do you guys think what is that? Like, is that eerie?
Well,
Ariel being eerie.
Holy fuck.
Like, it has
The
the
Ariel
same
being
laughter as Eerie did.
I want to believe it's just like her interpretation of how the Ariel works.
It's
Like,
not hers
it's
though, but
unseen.
this is what Elan's seeing.
I think part
That's
of it is
true.
I think part of it is Elan just kind of he's delirious because permit score 4 is when the brain damage starts happening.
True. Okay.
From what we can see is like he's hallucinating this, but also with all the information being fed into him through the gun format is, I mean, this could be either his interpretation of what it was like to be a Gundam pilot, which is of course just pain and being a disposable pawn. And then of course there's the idea of Ariel. I mean, there had to have been other test subjects before Suletta before it was optimized for
You
her.
mean like Eerie?
Like Eerie, yeah. I don't think Eerie is Ariel, but I think her data was used to perfect this version of the gun format.
So do you think like the antidote was like some sort of flush of information from the Ariel where it's like mixing with the permit score that allows access for like a flux of info, and it kind of like seeped in, and we're seeing like a rendition, like he's seeing a rendition of the Ariel as 13 Erie's bits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind. This I
like
think,
a overload or like access into those
Yeah, I think
information.
I think they say that this antidote they don't ever use the name.
Yeah, it's just like a burst or whatever. Who knows what it is, right? And we don't really exactly know. It shares the same characteristics of the antidote.
Yeah, it's meant to be antidote to, because I think it was prepared to fight other Gund using mobile suits.
I honestly think that it might be some crazy, like, instead of having like new type, how they connect their minds or whatever it is the hell they do, it's actually like the Gundams maybe connecting from pilot to pilot.
Okay. I'm actually gonna go full dark here.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna say that with Prospera's filled revengeness, inside of her, they went to Mercury. She has the knowledge that Eerie is really connected to the Ilfrith at that time. And so what she does is, fueled by this revenge to do anything to get the revenge, she pushes Eerie to the max to unlock as many layers as she can. And in that, actually, also remembering Mercury is a very hostile place for kids, that Eerie's actually either got injured or is dying, and that she wants to save her. So what she does is, what I think is that she puts her consciousness inside the Ilfrith, becomes Ariel, and takes her genetic material and creates Soletta. That's what I think happens.
Interesting.
That's okay. I can see.
It's very dark.
Look, the writer has done dark stuff in the past. That's
honestly,
this is my theory right now.
I will honestly say it's not the craziest thing we've ever heard in Gundam. So
yeah, I mean, Char swore revenge when was what, like 8 years old? Oh no, 11. Sorry.
Or should we talk about the new type dolphins and monkeys?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, from Gundam X.
As Gundam fans, we've seen some crazy shit. We've seen some crazy shit.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of again, revenge makes you do some really stupid stuff.
I'm hoping that's not it, but
I'm hoping it's not, but it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I'm going full dark on this one. We do see that Elan has a flashback of somebody, like celebrating a birthday or something. I don't know what it was. Or no, it's just a person reaching out to him. And I don't know. What do you guys like? What the hell was that?
Well, if we're going to be going with the clone thing, it could be part of the original Elan's memory.
Okay.
Like, I mean, he is a clone, but genetically speaking, clones won't have the memories of their donor. Well,
we don't know that. They can they can do consciousness and plant it into a brain of a human and put tubes from the brain to to a damn mechanic robot and make the thing do things and control bits. I don't know, maybe.
Fair enough. But just most depictions of clones,
sure,
obviously Star Wars, but other things that actually in Gundam too. Raul LaCrusade is a clone of I guess spoilers. Mula Flaga's dad.
What?
He had no.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. But yeah, he was a clone, but he had no memories of being Mu's dad. All he saw Mu was just this, like a rival because he was
or something. Okay.
He just stopped. But there is that chance that there could be some memory, if he was an accelerated clone, maybe he had some of Ellen's personality starting to come out, or his memories.
I'm gonna go dark again. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna double down on the dark and be like, this is a woman that maybe was trying to maybe save Elon from the facility or wherever he was being held, because she saw him as a child and not as a tool. And she was maybe she was there as a caretaker for him, and kind of maybe that's the memory she had and that's the number he had. And then I just went dark again. I'm sorry, man. Because hold on, we thought things were dark now. Things get they go to fifth gear, because the next scene we see is Belmera Winston, which is Belle, begging the directors of the Peltech not to get rid of Elan 4. Basically, she's begging, and the directors, who all look like Inquisitors, by the way, kind of turn, and they look very alike, like almost like clones of each other, but like slightly off-fitting clones. I just want to point that out because, clones and stuff. What they tell her is basically that since he can't use the permit anymore, he's no use of us. So, like, there's no point of having him around. And they also add, plus we have spares. He's goddamn tire, okay? We got spare tires in the back there. Just get one from the back there, So I'm just like, guys, what the nani, right? And then we get to the scene with the happy birthday. We know what, like, guys, look, I'm going to try and convince you he's a clone, because if he's just a regular person, he can't use his thing, why not just give him the face swap? Look, your duty's done. We're going to face swap you. Thank you for your service. Here's your ID, and get out the door. No, guys. What do they do instead? They don't cremate him. They vaporize him into nothingness. Okay, while singing "Happy Birthday." All right, he's a goddamn clone. I'm not letting go of this.
This song is cursed.
MJ.
You guys thought about your soul was dark. Holy shit.
Yeah, vaporizing him. MJ is just like holding a paper up to us and like shoving it in our face. Clone.
I'm sticking it on your foreheads. There.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. That's just my reasoning, because if he was just another dude, man, just why not be like, thanks for your service, get out of here.
Loose lips sink ships. They could be very extreme with,
true,
tying up loose ends.
Absolutely.
And that could cost money, and they don't want to spend money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that was exactly what I thought when I saw that little bit at the end too. Was that it was simply them, keeping the loose end, tied up, and it was, it's exactly what Aya says, is that it's them. He's a clone, and he is extremely disposable.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that eventually that Elon's going to have an Evangelion moment and see like all the clones in a tank somewhere.
Yeah,
and
probably.
we're gonna really get into some bad territory there.
I think so. And what if they go up to like one of the tanks, and it's kind of like foggy, and like Soletta's there, and she kind of takes her fists and clears the fog, and she's looking at herself. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh. We're going full like freaking Resident Evil.
What's that Weird Al song again? Oh yeah, I think I'm a clone now.
But guys, sorry. What did you want to say, Faz?
Oh no, I was reacting with you guys.
Okay. But yeah, that's kind of I'm doubling down on he's a clone. That's just what I think is happening.
Hey,
you're most definitely you're definitely onto something.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you guys
better than my genetic face swapping.
Look, I'm not saying that some of you guys are wrong, even though you're wrong, but it's just like, this is just
You're not saying he's a clone, but he's a clone.
Anyways, we come down to what would you rate the episode out of 10 clones, Wolf?
I honestly have to give it a 9, mostly because, I always like good Gundam battles, and battles with bits get kind of crazy interesting, and plus all the stuff with Elon.
Wolf likes OP bits. This just in. Okay.
No, even my own mech doesn't have them.
Kai, what are you giving the score out of your? How many clones?
I'm a sucker.
Or how many? You know what? For Kai, for you, how many face swaps?
How many face swaps? Oh boy, 9. I like the
Nice.
action. The animation and the music was absolutely fantastic, and I loved and I'm just a sucker for like the cyber new type breakdowns. Like
Yep.
it really reveals them as people. They're not things.
Yep.
They're people.
Yep. Faz?
Yep.
Give it 13 out of 10 child bits.
Damn! Nice.
I'm a sucker for like I said, like us in the mech genre are a sucker for mech fights. Like you look at Armored Core, you look at fucking Code Geass, you look at fucking
Oh yeah.
Gundam Build Fighters, you look at Transformers. Like just the sound design, holy shit!
Yeah.
I mean, the Michael Bay movies suck, but the sound design and the animations are awesome.
Yeah.
Someone made a.
Yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say someone made like a audio correcting of the Ready Player One Gundam to make it sound correct.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
I've seen that several times. It's just I turn it on when I just need a happy moment.
Okay. Moku. Out of 10 somethings, what would they be?
I would give it 8 child bits and 1 less loose end.
Wow! Wow! That's better than mine. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Damn. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, this
for
was
the next
this was like
podcast.
one of my favorite episodes thus far. This
Yeah.
was a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good one.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it about. I'm gonna give it 9 child silhouettes. Yeah, definitely a really great, definitely a great episode. Yeah, it had probably one of the best fight scenes besides the one with the Darabalde. The one thing too is like we see a lot of character growth again from like Ghoul, Guel. And it's very minor in the background, like you don't see it, but it's like you see that he's gonna be going somewhere. He got humbled real hard, and I think that took a backseat, but it was very prominent for me when I was rewatching. So, okay, so now we come to the part of the podcast. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Where she goes along about how he's definitely a clone. Just pulls out a giant billboard.
It's like the conspiracy board from that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
but it just says clone everywhere.
Yeah.
No, Clone Wars. Just all this talk of clones. I just want to watch Clone Wars.
Okay. So we
Attack of
come
the
to.
If I want to know
Maybe
about,
not Attack of the
Oh,
Clones.
hold on.
if I want to know
I mean,
about,
I like Attack of the Clones more than anything in the sequel trilogy.
if
But
I want to know about
acting
cloning,
all
I'm gonna
weird.
put Control C and Control V.
We're gonna have to
Sub-Zero.
adjust the size here. Hold on. Sorry. Give me one
Okay.
moment.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the size. What is
So
our
last episode, we came to a pretty adamant conclusion on the GM being on a scale from Sub-Zero, lukewarm to hot, being kind of in the middle of Sub-Zero and lukewarm. Actually, that's kind of a lie because everybody said that GM's like super hot, mobile suit, but I was like Sub-Zero. So right now I just deemed it as in the middle of Sub-Zero and lukewarm. Today's
say this.
mobile suit, if I can find my mouse. If I can find my mouse, please.
I would honestly agree with Jim because of
If
his,
you're having
performance.
trouble looking for your mouse, look somewhere to the right of your keyboard.
Yeah. Is another mobile suit of the opposite faction. It's our boy, Zaku 2.
I just
Ew.
built a Zaku too.
So on the scale of Sub-Zero, lukewarm, and hot, Faz, where are we putting this bad boy? Where are we putting this bad
We're
boy?
talking just like regular grunt Zaku 2.
Zaku 2.
In between lukewarm and hot.
Between lukewarm and hot, why?
Just because it was their first, for the Xeon faction, that was their first suit that just dominated the Federation for a good while, even against the gym
Okay.
and battleships.
Moku? Where are we putting him?
I would put it as like somewhere like right around like lukewarm.
Okay. Why? Any personal thoughts?
Well,
they can be personal too. They don't have to be like, they just, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely better as a grunt mobile suit than the GM is, but it's nowhere near as cool as like the other variants of it that would come out, like the Zaku 3, the High Zack, and all that.
Okay. Wolf?
Sub-Zero all the way is definitely.
Get the hell out of my podcast.
It is literally the ugliest looking thing. It loses to a gym constantly.
Oh my god. Blasphemy on my podcast.
Here's what a gym's all got to do to a Zaku weapon. It has to just hold up the shield and shoot. That's all a gym has to do, and then the Zaku dies.
I don't want to hear Gundam Evolution.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I was going to say Gundam Evolution.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough from Wolf. Please, Kai, set this man straight, please.
I have 10 more notes.
Okay.
We cut you off.
No.
This is just going to show me how much I actually love Xeon technology. It's hot for me.
This is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. It was like it's the precursor to the entire thing. We wouldn't have the Gundam without it, and I'm also biased because they just built the high mobility Zaku. So.
But it's the one that lost the war.
I'm a bit fair.
Okay,
but at the Empire, at the TIE Fighter. Which is still a really cool looking thing.
So I've taken all your points into consideration, and I'm gonna put this Zaku way over here. And it's going to be in a wait, how do I do this? It's going to be in a category all on its own because
thermonuclear.
Because
nice circle of hell. It's even colder than Sub-Zero.
If we want to give anything to thermonuclear, it's going to be the GPO2.
Oh hell yeah!
What?
Damn!
You don't know, do you?
Damn! That's how.
It's Gundam.
It's Gundam.
Oh no! Oh no! I was like, really?
I'm back.
Gundam. There is a shirt of that of just the Zaku and the Gundam just doing the damn pose.
So I don't remember who, but showed me a propaganda little thing for like the Federation. He says, You got the medal, we got the balls. And it's just a picture of a ball.
Look, let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. He's going to be in between, I think, lukewarm and hot. This is what we're putting around.
That's the average.
Because on this podcast, we're all about the Zigzeon. So just to be fair to the viewers,
we stand the mono eyes in here.
Yeah. What do you mean the one-eye Zaku's a fool? What the hell? Get out of here. No, it's not. It's just look, man.
Listen. All I need is to aim my ball at that stupid mono eye and
Can someone mute? We gotta mute Wolf here. Okay. but anyways, guys, this is the show. Thank you all for coming and chatting. It's been great. We're gonna do this again. Thanks for coming. Great conversations, great debates and stuff like that. We went through a lot, so thank you.
It's been fabulous.
Do any of you have any closing thoughts? Do you want to say anything, or just that's it?
Okay, first the honor of war criminals and the Federation rules. Bye.
Oh my god. No, okay, all right, guys. Thanks for wait. We got.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Ana Delgado did nothing wrong.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit that out. I'm gonna have to edit that
out. Next weekend won't be us, so remember that, people.
Yeah.
I'll try and pop him in.
Okay, guys. All right, you guys take care. Thanks again. Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. That was the podcast. Thanks for coming by. We had some pretty big discussions after rewatching the episodes. It was really enlightening to see a lot of stuff, and yeah, we picked apart the episodes pretty clean. we picked apart the episodes pretty cleanly. So thank you for all coming and watching. This podcast will be up on YouTube tomorrow. For anyone who's missed it, spread the love, spread the word, and Sig Zion.